What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. Hokage 10k times return 1 TR Chapter 1, Naruto, call me master. On the Hokage rock, the breeze is soothing, it seems that I have really traveled through time. Josh Shuimu looked at the quiet and peaceful village below with a complicated expression. He never imagined that when he woke up, he would come to Konoha village in the Hokage ninja world and become Chunin Mizuki. Forget it about time travel, but why Mizuki? Is it just because of my name? Josh Shuimu was extremely unhappy. Even if it were a different walk-on player, it would still be better than Mizuki. During a mission, Mizuki once injured his companion's leg and was unable to move. In order to prevent his companion from holding him back, he covered his companion with his hands to death. The level of cruelty is outrageous. Later, Konoha recovered the body and found that the man's cause of death was lack of oxygen, which was completely inconsistent with Mizuki's explanation of death from serious injuries. Since then, Mizuki has been suspected by the village. Although the village had no direct evidence to prove that Mizuki committed murder, since it was suspected, Mizuki could no longer be reused. He was not even allowed to take on tasks, and was only arranged to live as a small assistant in the ninja school. The future is ruined, but he was unwilling to accept the status quo and planned to defect and find another job. For this reason, he also devised a plan to let Naruto steal the sealed book, using the sealed book as a surrender letter to seek Orochimaru's asylum. Unfortunately, before the plan could be implemented, he was replaced by Josh Shuimu, who traveled through time. It's good now that I'm Mizuki. The good ones were not inherited, but the bad ones were all inherited. It is impossible to defect. Anyone who has watched the anime knows that the village has long been aware of Mizuki's plan. Third generation also took advantage of the situation and sent multiple shadow clone techniques to Naruto. Therefore, defection will never succeed, but if he continued to stay in the village, it would be like boiling a frog in warm water. Even if he escaped without instigating Naruto this time, next time, hundreds of pairs of eyes in the village would be staring at him. Once the seeds of suspicion were planted, very difficult to remove. Hey, it's difficult. Looking at Naruto sitting alone on the swing because he failed the final exam from a distance, Mizuki thought that his current situation was not much better than this kid. By the way, the school graduation exam ends today, and Ju Shaoqiang will officially become a ninja. Without his own intervention, Naruto might not be able to graduate. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded in Mizuki's mind. The time traveler has been detected, and the system of giving 10,000 times the reward for teaching disciples has been activated. Please complete the novice tasks so that the system can be fully activated. Close black lens bracket. Novice mission. Accept Naruto as a disciple. Request. Call you master. Close black lens bracket. Task reward. The system is fully activated. 1 true and 1 false chakra control pill each. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki's eyes widened. System. On the swing, Naruto watched other classmates successfully graduate, wearing ninja forehead protectors, and celebrating with their parents, and he felt more and more out of place. He was the only one who failed and couldn't graduate. A chilling loneliness enveloped my heart. What are you thinking about? A gentle voice sounded. Naruto raised his head and was stunned for a moment. Mizuki-sensei? Mizuki had a faint smile on his face. Naruto, if you want to graduate, come with me. The two left the school. This scene was watched by third generation and Iruka behind the crowd. Iruka, I have something to tell you later. Yes, Lord Third Hokage. Advertisement on the Hokage rock. Mizuki and Naruto sat next to the cliff, with their legs stretched out of the cliff, blowing the mountain breeze, with different moods. Iruka-sensei, he never meant to make things difficult for you. Mizuki looked up at the sky and said. Naruto didn't understand and asked, then why are you always targeting me? Mizuki. I think it's because he wants Naruto to make you really strong. After all, you both lost your parents. He looks at you like a biological brother and treats you as a relative. That's why he's afraid of losing you. After all, becoming a ninja is a very dangerous thing. Whether you are performing a mission or on the battlefield, if you are not careful, you will lose your life. And you haven't even mastered the clone technique. Naruto's heart palpitated when he heard this. Even so, he was still unwilling to give in. But I really want to graduate. Mizuki smiled faintly. Hey, there is no other way. I can only arrange for you to take the exam again. Naruto asked hurriedly. Retake the exam? Is it really possible? Mizuki nodded. Naruto was overjoyed, but soon lowered his head, frustrated. Teacher Mizuki, even if I retake the exam, I still failed the clone technique and I still won't be able to graduate. Mizuki smiled and said, do you know why your clone technique always fails to work well? Naruto. Every time I use the clone technique, I feel like the chakra is out of control. I have practiced very hard, but it still doesn't work. Mizuki nodded and said, yes, that's the reason. Your chakra control ability is really poor, that's why such unsightly results occurred. He didn't say clearly that it was 9 tails that affected Naruto's control of chakra. What should we do? Naruto was at a loss. Mizuki turned around, sat facing Naruto, and said, it's very simple. I'll teach you how to control chakra, but you have to call me master before I can teach you. Naruto is not stupid, on the contrary, he is smart and thoughtful. The reason why everyone thinks he is a fool is simply because his bluffing personality and careless acting style cover up his intelligence. He has been looked down upon since childhood and has experienced the warmth and coldness of the world. He understands more principles than other children. At this moment, he felt that Mizuki was not joking. He immediately shouted, "Master!" Mizuki smiled faintly, and the system's voice sounded in his mind. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Successfully recruit Uzumaki Naruto as a disciple. The novice mission is completed, and you will be rewarded with a real chakra control pill and a fake chakra control pill. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki smiled and said, "Fortunately, Naruto is easy to fool. He called me master after just a few words." The system of giving back thousands of times to apprentices is officially activated. Close black lens bracket. Ninjutsu, taijutsu, illusions, experience, ninja tools, medicines, etc. that are granted to apprentices will all be refunded by the system up to 10,000 times. Close black lens bracket. Each apprentice has 3 opportunities to be rewarded every month. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki smiled and said, "Get up." He spread his right hand, with a small blue pill lying in his palm, and handed it to Naruto. "Eat it and you will be able to control your chakra." Chakra control pill is produced by the system. After any ninja takes it, the control of chakra can be increased to 90%. Of course, for people whose chakra control level is already higher than 90%, taking it will have no effect. Naruto hesitated a little, but took the pill and took it. Treating a dead horse as a living horse, no matter whether it is poisonous or not, effective or not, after eating it, this is my only chance. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. You grant your disciple Uzumaki a Naruto chakra control pill, triggering a 1,000-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki raised an eyebrow. Advertisement 1,000 times? Although there is a gap from the highest 10,000 times, it is not too bad. Congratulations, you have obtained a super chakra control pill. Close black lens bracket. Super chakra control pill. After taking it, the control degree of chakra will reach 99.99%. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki asked in confusion. What's the difference between 90% and 99.99%? System. Ordinary chakra control pill can increase chakra control to 90%. Intermediate chakra control pill can increase chakra control to 99%. Advanced chakra control pill 99.9%. Super pill 99.99%. Wangji pill 99.999%. Imperial pill level elixir. Chakra control exceeds 90%, and any ninjutsu can be mastered quickly. Close black lens bracket. More than 99%, you can streamline the seals and speed up the release of ninjutsu. Close black lens bracket. More than 99.9%, you can make seals with one hand. Close black lens bracket. More than 99.99%, no seals are required to release ninjutsu, just clap your hands and shout whatever you want. Close black lens bracket. More than 99.999%, you don't need to clap your hands to release the ninjutsu. When you think about it, you can shout whatever you want, and the power of the ninjutsu increases by 1 level. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki's eyes widened and he was stunned for a while. At this time, Naruto, who had taken the chakra control pill, had already experienced inner changes. Master Mizuki, I feel it, my chakra became obedient. Mizuki nodded and said, try it and see. Naruto raised his hand, Wei Si Yin, and then shouted softly, clone technique. There was a bang, and there were 10 Narutos standing on the field, one of which was the main body and 9 of them were clones. It was almost difficult to distinguish the real ones from the fake ones. I did it, Uzumaki Naruto did it, clone technique, I finally got it. Naruto shouted excitedly. Master Mizuki, thank you so much. I will go back to school and retake the exam now. Teacher Iruka will definitely allow me to graduate. After saying that, he dismissed clone technique and prepared to leave. But Mizuki stopped him. Don't worry, where are you? Come on, take another one. He took out the super chakra control pill returned by the system and handed it to Naruto. The system did not say that the returned items cannot be used to trigger returns. If the super chakra control pill triggers another return, even if it is only 10 times, that would be a big deal. Naruto took the elixir and drank it without saying a word. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. You grant your disciple Uzumaki Naruto a super chakra control pill, triggering a 100-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained a royal chakra control pill. Close black lens bracket. Emperor chakra control pill. After taking it, the chakra control degree will reach 99.9999%. Close black lens bracket. Chakra control reaches 99.9999%. Ninjutsu can be released as desired. Ninjutsu power increases by 2 levels, and ninjutsu effects will appear upgraded. Close black lens bracket. Haha, it sure works. Mizuki was overjoyed. A shortcut is right in front of you. Give this Imperial Chakra control pill to Naruto later and trigger the return again. But that's it. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Bug found. Fixing it. Mizuki. Can't you afford the system? Repair completed. From now on, items returned by the system will no longer trigger returns. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki couldn't help but spit out the fragrance. I'll go. Chapter 2. Clap your hands and shout whatever you want. The snowball plan failed. The Imperial Chakra Control pill is already rotten in my hand. Mizuki had no choice but to eat it by himself. The elixir melted in his mouth, entered his stomach, and its power quickly spread throughout his body. In less than half a minute, his chakra control reached 99.9999%. He couldn't help but try it, and as soon as an idea came to his mind, Naruto next to him turned into Iruka with a bang sound. Naruto. What happened? Mizuki showed a strange smile. 99.9999% chakra control not only increases the power of ninjutsu by 2 levels, but also upgrades the effect of ninjutsu. What he had just cast was the transformation technique, but instead of casting it on himself, he cast it on Naruto. As a result, Naruto changed. Is this the effect of the upgraded transformation technique? It seems very interesting. Ordinary transformation technique can only transform yourself. The upgraded transformation technique, in addition to being able to change yourself, can also make other people change, or make other objects change. How should I put it? If used well, at critical moments, it might have miraculous effects. As for the upgrade of transformation technique from E to C, the effect cannot be felt yet, but will be realized later. Master Mizuki, what's going on? Why did I suddenly transform? Naruto was very anxious. He tried to remove the transformation effect himself, but found that it was useless. After 5 seconds, the transformation will be cancelled automatically. Mizuki did not explain, but said to Naruto, try the clone technique again, this time without sealing. Naruto. Master, how can you release the clone technique without forming a seal? Mizuki. I'll let you try it, you'll know if it works. Naruto did as he was told, and the next moment, he clapped his hands and shouted, clone technique. Bang. There were 40 or 50 Narutos on the field. However, they are all illusions, not entities, and cannot be used directly for combat. Naruto was shocked. Really? Ninjutsu can be released without forming seals? Is this taught in school? Ninja school, Iruka office. The 3rd generation was expressionless and said, Iruka, you have to accept this. He has been pretending for so many years. Even you were deceived by his kind appearance. The village didn't take action against him before because there was insufficient evidence. As Hokage, 3rd generation has always had an upright image. Arresting people based on mere suspicion does not fit with his image in the eyes of the villagers. That's why Mizuki is so happy now. But a month ago, Anbu discovered that he planned to steal the sealed book and then defect. Judging from just now, he planned to use Naruto. Once he actually implements his defection plan, the village will not show mercy. This is an opportunity, firstly, to bring Mizuki to justice, secondly, to clear away the darkness in Naruto's heart. Naruto's identity is extraordinary. He must not fall into darkness and hate Konoha, otherwise, 3rd generation did not say clearly, but Iruka knew. If Jinchuriki falls into darkness, then the village will definitely take harsh measures. By then, it's really hard to say whether Naruto is dead or alive. Advertisement. After hearing this, Iruka finally made up his mind. Growing up, how could Iruka not know anything about Mizuki's character? Just pretending not to know. Don't worry, 3rd generation Sama, I know what to do. Since he plans to betray Konoha, I won't let him go. Tonight I will reveal his true face in front of Naruto, capture him with my own hands, and at the same time clear away the darkness in Naruto's heart. What if you don't agree? The 3rd generation has used Naruto as a threat. One is a beloved student, and the other is a good friend, who is friendly on the surface but sinister on the inside. It is not difficult to choose. 3rd generation nodded, smiled, stood up and prepared to leave. At this moment, the office door was suddenly pushed open and Naruto jumped in. Mr. Iruka, I want to retake the exam. I have mastered the clone technique, I want to graduate. Hey, Grandpa 3rd generation, you're here too. Iruka said with a straight face. There is never such a thing as re-examination in ninja school, and Naruto, knock on the door before entering the office next time. Naruto shouted. I don't care, I have to retake the exam. Grandpa 3rd generation happens to be here, so let's be a witness together. As soon as he finished speaking, he clapped his hands and shouted, clone technique. With a bang sound, more than 40 Narutos appeared in the office. Except for one who was the main body, the others were all clones. 3rd generation and Iruka. What happened? Naruto's clone technique is so bad, how come he can suddenly create so many clones? Iruka believes that his clone technique cannot achieve this level. And with such a perfect clone, even 3rd generation couldn't tell which one it was for a while. It was almost like a joke. 3rd generation's eyes widened. You don't need to form seals, just clap your hands to release the clone technique. This is not. Naruto released the clone and said with a proud face, how about it, Mr. Iruka, can I graduate? Iruka yelled, who are you? How dare you pretend to be Naruto and take the exam on his behalf? Do you know what this is? Naruto is his student. How many pounds and tails does he have? How can he still know? Half an hour ago, I couldn't even identify a single clone, but now I can identify more than 40 clones. Can you believe it? So the person in front of me is definitely not Naruto. Naruto was furious and said angrily, "Iruka-sensei, you don't believe me. I'm so angry, I want to show you some color." He clapped his hands again and shouted, "Ninja technique. Seduction technique." A naked beauty appeared, her enchanting figure looming in the clouds and mist, casting her flirtatious eyes, extremely tempting. The third generation and Iruka couldn't resist for half a second before they spurted blood from their nostrils, flew backwards, and fell behind the desk. The movements of the two are very synchronized. Ha 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 ha. I've been tricked, Iruka-sensei. You dare to doubt me, now let's see what you have to say. Naruto changed back to his original appearance, with an expression like, I won. I have mastered the clone technique. Give me the forehead protector, I want to graduate. Third generation and Iruka got up from behind the desk, very embarrassed. Especially the third generation felt terrible after suffering such an unreasonable disaster. You are already old, but you are still subjected to this kind of stimulation, what a sin. Iruka was shocked. Are you really Naruto? Advertisement? Third generation straightened the bamboo hat on his head, coughed twice, and said, no doubt little Naruto is the one who knows this boring ninjutsu. Naruto said proudly, if it's true, it will be replaced. How is this possible? Iruka still didn't believe it. Third generation asked, little Naruto, you clearly couldn't use clone technique before, why can you create so many perfect clones now? Moreover, when you used clone technique, you didn't form any seals. Can you tell Grandpa what is going on? Naruto didn't hide it and said, I used to always feel that the chakra in my body was out of control. Master Mizuki came to me just now and gave me 2 small blue pills. After I took them, I felt that the chakra in my body became very obedient, and it became much easier to release the clone technique. Mizuki? Third generation and Iruka looked at each other and couldn't think straight for a moment. What the hell? Wasn't it agreed that Mizuki's plan was to use Naruto's eagerness to graduate to trick Naruto into stealing the sealed book? How come he gave Naruto pills to take? In this way, Naruto can graduate directly, and will he steal the sealed book? No matter what you think, something is wrong. Third generation's first reaction was, are the pills still available? The second con is that the pill definitely has side effects, and it may break the seal in Naruto's body. If the seal is broken and Nine Tails escapes, there will be trouble. The third generation arrived in front of Naruto in a flash. He held Naruto down with his left hand and lifted his shirt with his right hand, exposing his belly. After a little inspection, the third generation breathed a sigh of relief when they found that the seal had no trace of damage. But he was still worried, so he picked up Naruto and rushed out of Konoha School and went straight to Konoha Hospital. While going out, he did not forget to tell Iruka, don't tell anyone about this yet. When they arrived at the hospital, third generation went directly to the director. Quick, give him a full body checkup. Soon, the test results came out and Naruto was fine. What's the matter? Third generation is puzzled. Naruto, besides giving you pills, did Mizuki say anything else? Did he ask you to do anything? Tell me everything that happened? He could only ask Naruto. He had no choice but to let Mizuki deceive Naruto into stealing the sealed book with peace of mind. He removed all the Anbu who were monitoring Naruto, just because he was afraid that Mizuki would notice and not dare to act as planned. Moreover, I had been explaining things in Iruka's office just now, so I didn't have time to observe with the telescope technique. This resulted in him having no idea what happened after Mizuki took Naruto away. Seeing the solemn expression on the third generation's face, Naruto said truthfully, Master Mizuki took me to the Hokage rock, and then told me that Mr. Iruka did not let me graduate because he was afraid that I would not be good at my studies and would be in danger when performing missions in the future. Then let me call him Master. Then he gave me a little blue pill. After I took it, I could create 9 clones. Then he gave me another pill. After I took it, I could create more than 40 clones. No need to form seals yet. Then, I came to ninja school to retake the exam. Third generation asked, is there anything else? Naruto shook his head, no more. Third generation's doubts deepened. It doesn't make sense at all. With just 2 pills, Naruto's chakra control ability has reached a level comparable to that of the first Hokage. This is a height that I have pursued all my life but cannot reach. So the question is, with this heaven-defying pill, why didn't Mizuki take it himself, but gave it to Naruto? Could it be that he has so many pills in his hand that he can't finish them all? Or maybe he has the recipe and can make more pills at any time? Thinking of this, third generation's breathing suddenly became rapid. Chapter 3. Ramen can also trigger, chakra increases 10 times. Anbu will never be mistaken. Although the process has changed, Mizuki's goal must still be the sealed book. Mizuki took out pills for Naruto to take, hoping to divert my attention, and then steal the sealed book himself. Third generation automatically imagined that this was the truth. Humph, then let's continue acting with you. I looked at the sky outside and saw that it was already evening. His face was expressionless, and he had already made a new plan in his mind. As long as Mizuki steals the sealed book and the evidence is conclusive, he can order his arrest and put him in prison, and then use various means to coerce and induce him to reveal the prescription. Logically speaking, if you want a prescription, sending it to the Yamanaka clan is the fastest way. But in that case, the prescription could easily be leaked. How could you let another person know such an important thing besides yourself? Especially Danzo, who must never be made aware of the existence of the pills. Grandpa third generation, are you okay? checking over and over again. Have you found anything? Naruto was already impatient. Third generation has no intention of paying attention to him at this moment. He said casually. The inspection is over. There is no problem for now. It's getting dark. You can go back. Naruto said. What about the ninja forehead protector? I have mastered the clone technique, even better than other students. I should be able to graduate. Third generation. Graduation, graduation, go find Iruka and get the forehead protector, just say it was me. After sending Naruto away, the third generation came to the Hokage building. First, he found a random reason and sent all the alert Anbu to eat barbecue. Then he took out the castrated version of the sealed book that he had prepared and put it on the desk, and then Shirin went home. The entire Hokage building was empty, not a single person was there. The sealed book is just placed in Hokage's office, for fear that others will not see it. After third generation arrived home, he immediately took out the crystal ball and used the telescope technique to remotely monitor the Hokage building. Half an hour passed and there was no movement. An hour passed and there was still no movement. Third generation is not in a hurry and is very patient. If you are fishing, the fish will not take the bait if you are not patient. At this time, Naruto had already obtained the forehead protector and came to the Ichiraku ramen restaurant with great interest, preparing to make him 3 bowls to celebrate. Hey, Naruto, come and eat ramen too. As soon as Naruto entered the Ichiraku ramen restaurant, he heard a familiar voice. I saw Mizuki sitting at the dining table with half-eaten ramen on the table. Master Mizuki, I didn't expect you to also like to eat Ichiraku ramen. Naruto's eyes suddenly lit up when he saw Mizuki was there too. Mizuki. I came here after finishing my schoolwork. This ramen restaurant tastes really good. By the way, you're wearing a forehead protector on your head. It seems you graduated successfully. Naruto hurriedly said, yes, it's all thanks to Master Mizuki. Without you, it would be difficult for me to graduate today. I am very happy to get the forehead protector and want to celebrate with a bowl of ramen. It's a pity that I'm too poor and can't afford ramen, however, I'm satisfied with the taste. Naruto took his hand out of his pocket and swallowed hard while looking at the ramen in Mizuki's bowl with a pitiful look. Mizuki's eyes twitched. Can you be more exaggerated? Although the third generation swallowed up the inheritance of the fourth generation, the pension was not reduced. Okay, I'll treat you to ramen tonight. He couldn't stand it anymore. Naruto. Yeah, Master Mizuki is so good. I have decided to eat 3 bowls later. Mizuki yelled. Don't push yourself too far, 2 bowls at most. Advertisement grandmas, my monthly salary is only enough for food and clothing, and I can't afford 3 bowls. Naruto whispered. You're so stingy if you don't even give me an extra bowl. Mizuki. I want to hit someone, soon. Naruto's first bowl of ramen was served. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket, you grant your apprentice Uzumaki Naruto a bowl of Miso Charshu Ramen, triggering a 1,000-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you got a bowl of miso barbecued pork chakra noodles. Close black lens bracket. Miso barbecued pork chakra noodles. After eating, the upper limit of Kakashi chakra will be increased by 1. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki. No, each apprentice has 3 opportunities to return money every month. Counting this time, Naruto's 3 returns this month will be used up. This third return is too hasty. I also plan to teach him an ultimate secret ninjutsu to trigger the return. Also, what the hell is 1 Kakashi? After a while, Naruto finished 2 bowls of ramen. Mizuki paid and Tate brought 2 more bowls of ramen. Little Naruto graduated from school today and officially became a ninja. As a token of appreciation, Uncle, I will give each of you, master and disciple, a bowl of ramen. Thank you, Uncle. Naruto became even happier. Mizuki looked at the bowl of ramen in front of him with a strange look on his face, already having a premonition in his heart. Picking up the ramen with chopsticks and taking a bite, the taste is no different from the previous bowl. It even feels less delicious than the previous bowl due to taste fatigue. However, the total amount of chakra in the body began to increase. Mizuki's eyes lit up, and he ate without caring whether it tasted good or not daring to waste anything. In less than half a minute, the bowl of noodles was finished, and even the soup at the bottom of the bowl was drained. At this time, Mizuki's chakra amount was more than 10 times what it was before. The system is awesome. Kakashi is an elite jonin after all. Although he is always short of mana, his chakra capacity is far beyond that of a rubbish chunin like Mizuki. The upper limit of chakra increases, and the strength also increases, which is a good thing. Next to him, Naruto had eaten 3 large bowls of ramen, holding his stomach with a happy expression on his face. Master Mizuki, thank you for the hospitality. Naruto went home and had to meet at school tomorrow morning. After separating from Naruto, Mizuki walked towards the Hokage building. Third generation will definitely pay close attention to the little blue pill. I have to talk about it. Once the things are taken out, you can't hide them anymore if you want to. And until now, third generation has not sent anyone to find him. It is obvious that third generation is playing dirty tricks. Therefore, taking the initiative to explain will save a lot of trouble. If there is a reason, he has already thought of it. Sarutobi clan residential area. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly sat upright and put the tobacco bag in his hand on the table. In the crystal ball, the scene outside the Hokage building is clearly displayed. I saw Mizuki strolling downstairs to the Hokage and going upstairs along the stairs. His goal was the Hokage's office. Third generation's eyes widened, a little confused. Are all those who steal things so arrogant now? He controlled the telescope technique and followed Mizuki with his vision. He saw Mizuki coming to the door of Hokage's office and was about to knock on the door, but found that the door was open. In the office, the lights were on, and there was a large scroll on the desk with the 4 characters, sealed book, written on it. Mizuki. Advertisement good guy, are you putting it in such a conspicuous place for fear that Naruto won't be able to steal it? Unfortunately, Naruto has successfully graduated and doesn't need to steal anymore. He also traveled through time, so he didn't need to use the sealed book as a pledge to seek refuge with Orochimaru. 80% of it is fake. I'm afraid it contains a multiple shadow clone technique. Only Naruto would fall for such an obvious trap. After traveling through time for a few days, he planned to live a good life in Konoha. There's no point in defecting or anything like that, and he knew that the village had already been keeping an eye on Mizuki, so the defection was unlikely to succeed. Therefore, he will not imitate what Mizuki did in the original work. Master Hokage is not here. It seems that I came at the wrong time. About the pill. Forget it, come back tomorrow. Mizuki stood at the door and muttered a few words to himself, then turned and left. Third Hokage. What happened? Mizuki, he just left. Don't you really want the sealed book? Just put it on the table, within easy reach. Forget it if you don't take it, don't even take a look. Did he realize that this was a trap? Third generation narrowed his eyes, gaining a new understanding of Mizuki. In his perception, Mizuki is an arrogant person who acts without considering the consequences. So although this trap was full of loopholes, he believed that Mizuki would definitely fall for it. But the result was beyond his expectation. Mizuki was unmoved. Damn it, this time it was a mistake. Third generation felt annoyed. Mizuki didn't step into the trap this time. It will be difficult to think about the design next time. However, what Mizuki just said seemed to mention the little blue pill. Third generation's eyes lit up, and he hurriedly got up and left home, heading towards the Hokage building, and happened to bump into Mizuki a few minutes later. Master Hokage, it turns out you were here. I just went to the Hokage building to look for you and found that you were not there. Third generation smiled and asked, It's Mizuki, what do you want from me? Mizuki. It's about Naruto, today, Third generation immediately waved his hand and said, Go to my office to discuss this matter. How can you say this kind of thing on the street? He still thought about swallowing the prescription alone. Follow the third generation to the Hokage office and close the doors and windows. Mizuki, I heard what Naruto said about today. You gave him 2 blue pills, which greatly improved his chakra control ability. Is what you want to say about the blue pills? Third generation gets right to the point. Naruto was secondary, the little blue pill was primary. Mizuki said, Please forgive me, Hokage-sama, for my arbitrary opinions. At that time, Naruto failed the graduation exam and was sitting alone on the swing and felt very lonely. I sympathized with him, so. I didn't expect that the blue pill would actually be useful to Naruto. Third generation asked, Where did the blue pill you gave Naruto come from? Mizuki had already prepared his words and said, The thing is like this. 3 years ago, when I was on a mission to hunt down Orochimaru at the Uchiha village ruins in the country of Uzumaki, I found a wooden structure in a hidden compartment in an abandoned secret room. The box contains 5 blue pills. Third generation nodded. 3 years ago, Orochimaru was searched for at the Uchiha village ruins. It seemed that this was indeed the case. Many ninjas were sent there. Mizuki took out a small wooden box from his pocket and placed it on the table. When third generation looks at this wooden box, it has a sense of age. But then, he frowned. On the wooden box, it says, Chakra Control Pill, improves chakra control ability, exclusive for Vortex and Senju. Chapter 4. The crisis is still there, so we need to be cautious every step of the way. Uzumaki, Senju only? Third generation seemed to realize something, and felt shocked. It cannot be. Mizuki smiled bitterly and said, I didn't believe this at first. I ate 1 pill at that time, but there was no reaction at all. I brought it back to the village and kept it in an inconspicuous corner. Seeing that Naruto failed the exam today, I suddenly thought that Naruto's surname is Uzumaki and he has the blood of the Uzumaki clan in his body. Maybe this medicine will be useful, so I tried it. I didn't expect that after Naruto took the pill, his chakra control ability actually improved. I gave him 2 pills, and I couldn't help but take one myself. It turned out that the pills only worked on Naruto, and had no effect on me at all. Speaking of this, Mizuki became more and more frustrated. The expression is spot on. The third generation thinks more. Back then, Senju had good relations with the Uzumaki generation, and first Hokage could release ninjutsu without sealing. Could it be that he got the chakra control pill from the Uzumaki clan? But why is there no record of such a thing in the village? Third generation Sama, there is one last chakra control pill left in the wooden box. After much thought, it is best to give it to Hokage-sama. Although it is useless for bloodline ninjas other than Senju and Uzumaki, with some research and improvement, this limitation may be eliminated. What is in the box is of course a fake chakra control pill provided by the system, which can increase the chakra control of Uzumaki and Senju clan ninjas by 0.1%. The system has already paved the way back, and there is no need for Mizuki to think too much. Third generation opened the box and looked at the elixir lying quietly inside, feeling somewhat hopeful in its heart. Mizuki, you have your heart. As for Naruto, you did a good job. Naruto's identity is quite special, and the villagers are not willing to contact him. But you are willing to help him, which is really rare and really impresses me. Mizuki sneered inwardly. Fake old coin. He clearly set a trap to deal with me, but he said something different and said something different. Also, Naruto is hated by the villagers, and it's not because of you. If you announced his identity as the son of a hero, would the villagers' attitude towards him still be the same as it is now? Third generation Sama is too generous. As a member of Konoha, these are what I should do. I don't have much talent. I'm just an ordinary chunin. I can't bring more benefits to the village by performing high-level tasks. I can only focus on cultivating the next generation of Konoha in school. Although my teaching ability is insufficient and I am just a teaching assistant, I will try my best no matter what. I just hope those children are stronger and can protect themselves, their companions, and the village. Don't be like me, who is not strong enough and watches his companions being killed but can do nothing. What Mizuki said was sincere. Third generation is an old politician and an old coin. He has never experienced any scene. Of course he will not believe these words. Although there is no definite evidence that Mizuki covered his companion to death, it does not prevent third generation from believing that Mizuki is not a good person. He obviously sensed that the village was preparing to attack him. He also handed over the last blue pill and pretended to care about the village in front of me. This kind of person will be a disaster if he stays in the village, but if he is arrested, there is no evidence. Arrest without evidence, the villagers and the ninjas in the village will have ideas. Third generation began to hesitate. Advertisement. In the end, he decided to let it go. He's just a chunin and can't make any big waves. Keep it, maybe you can catch Orochimaru. Mizuki, I didn't expect that you already have a thorough understanding of the will of fire. It seems that letting you serve as a teaching assistant in the ninja school is overkill. In this way, when the new students enter, you can also become a teacher. Your salary in all aspects will be improved. I hope you will pass on the will of fire. Only in this way can Konoha survive. Mizuki was relieved that third generation had finally spoken out. At least, the crisis is temporarily over. Be careful in the future and never let third generation take advantage. Third generation Sama, I will do it. Yes, third generation nodded and added, you have contributed a lot to the chakra control pill. I have decided to give you a reward. Third generation opened the drawer and took out a wad of money. This is 100,000 taels, take it. This is my personal reward for you, so don't tell anyone about it. It's not good for others to know. Mizuki was sarcastic and stingy, so he paid 100,000 taels for the hush fee. It's not as much as the reward for a B-level mission. Although I am not satisfied, I still need to improve the appearance. Mizuki pretended to be overjoyed and reached out to take the money. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Looking at Mizuki's leaving figure, third generation said, this Mizuki has a very deep scheming mind, which is completely different from what Anbu analyzed. I don't want to waste my energy on an inconspicuous chunin. I hope he's calmer recently. After leaving the Hokage building, Mizuki went straight home. Although he now wants to experience the upgrade of 3 body technique and the specific effects after the upgrade, tonight is not a good time. He could clearly feel that the way third generation looked at him was very unfriendly. If he happened to be spied on by the third generation while practicing ninjutsu, there would be no way to explain it. Transformation technique can transform other people or things. How do you explain this? The crisis is not over yet, so we need to proceed with caution. The third generation won't live long anyway. Once he dies and Tsunade takes over, we won't have to worry so much. When Tsunade becomes 5th Hokage, if he behaves more proactively, he still has a chance to clear his name. After returning home, I pretend to refine the chakra, then take off my clothes and lie on the bed, getting ready for bed. Just then, there was a knock on the door, a little urgent and a little angry. Who is it? Mizuki stood up and opened the door. Outside the door, stood a beautiful woman with a pure appearance wearing a burgundy suspender skirt. Chun, you. Why are you here so late? The woman is none other than Mizuki's childhood sweetheart and fiancé, Tsubaki. It's a bit embarrassing. This is the original Mizuki's fiancé, and he has no feelings for her at all. Advertisement. Although she is beautiful, she is just a stranger to him, let alone like her. But the trouble is, the two have already made an engagement. If the relationship is between boyfriend and girlfriend, you can easily find a reason to break up. But the marriage contract has been made, which is equivalent to getting the certificate but not holding the wedding. It's hard to break up. If the engagement is broken off, the reputation of being a troublemaker but a deserter will immediately fall on him. Under the thumb of thousands of people, he will have no way to live, and he will either die or defect. Thinking about Hitaki Tsukumo, he was scolded and committed suicide. The internet exposure is fiercer than a tiger. If the engagement is not broken off, they will get married in 1 month. When we get along day and night, wouldn't my identity as a time traveler be easily exposed? This is his biggest secret. Even if he defects, this matter cannot be exposed. What should we do? He felt that life was so difficult. Chun looked at Mizuki and said angrily, We agreed to have barbecue together tonight. I waited for you at the barbecue restaurant for so long, and you actually slept at home? Mizuki. Ah, well, as you know, I was too busy taking the school graduation exam today, so I forgot about it. What to do? How can we cancel this engagement without defecting? I don't care. You broke the promise and I'm still hungry now. You must compensate. Chun went straight into the house. As a punishment, you will cook dinner for me once, my favorite barbecued pork rice. Mizuki. I can't, what should I do? She entered the house. It was late at night, and she actually entered the house. Good luck. Chun. No, it doesn't matter. I will guide you from the side. Anyway, it must be done by your own hands. In the Hokage office, third generation withdrew its gaze and disarmed the telescope technique. He tapped his fingers on the table a few times, and an Anbu appeared in front of the desk. Effective today, the defense level against Chunin Mizuki will be raised from D level to C level. Intensify monitoring of him and report immediately if there is any situation. Also, find an opportunity to send multiple shadow clone techniques to Naruto's house. After the third generation finished explaining, he took the wooden box and returned to the Sarutobi clan's residence, entered the secret room, and studied it himself. This night, Konoha was quiet. At Iruka's house, Iruka was lying on the bed waiting for a signal, weighing left and right, and finally an Anbu came. Master Hokage asked me to send word that tonight's plans have been cancelled. After tonight, act like nothing happened. Don't show any abnormality in front of Mizuki. Hearing the news, Iruka breathed a sigh of relief. In his heart, he never wanted to see Mizuki and Konoha standing on opposite sides. Nothing happened tonight, which couldn't be better. After all, sending his friend to prison with his own hands was also a kind of torture for him. In that case, can I find a way to erase the darkness in his heart and make him give up defecting? Although adults' ideas have been solidified and it is difficult to change, but MABE Chapter 5, Body Replacement Technique Upgraded Effect. Mizuki's home. Josh Shuimu played Mizuki according to his memory. His language, expressions, habitual movements, and mantras were all exactly the same as the original Mizuki. He is very tired and heartbroken. He was extremely nervous, fearing that he would do something wrong and arouse Chun's suspicion. But the result was good. Chun never imagined that the person in front of him was no longer his fiancé. The body is the same, but the soul has changed. Finally, Chun finished the bowl of barbecued pork rice on the table. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief. It was finally over. Once Tsubaki left, he wouldn't have to continue acting and wouldn't be so tired. However, he thought too much. Chun actually had no intention of leaving, and took the initiative to wash the dishes, clean, make the bed, and urge Mizuki to take a bath. In the room, the lights became intoxicating, and the ambiguous atmosphere was rising. Mizuki immediately checked his memory, then his face turned grim. In my memory, Jellyfish and Chun had registered at the Hokage building since they got engaged half a year ago. This is equivalent to the fact that the two of them have obtained the certificate, and although the wedding has not yet been held, they are already considered a legal couple. From then on, the two of them had no scruples and would do it every 1 or 2 days, even several times a day in their free time, working tirelessly and unable to extricate themselves. Ninjas are physically stronger and are even more powerful at what they do, and both of them are seriously addicted. Now, the real Mizuki is gone and it's his turn, Josh Shuimu. What? What should I do? Refuse or accept? He was struggling in his heart. If you accept it, not only will you be able to have S*X every night, but you will also get a wife for free, which will be absolutely wonderful. But after all, he is not the real Mizuki. He relies on acting, which is fine for a short time, but over time, it is easy to be exposed and very tiring. Even when I go to bed at night, I am afraid that my identity will be exposed by talking in my sleep. All in all, if you accept it, there will definitely be a lot of trouble in the future. But if he refuses, Chun will definitely immediately doubt his identity due to such uncharacteristic behavior. Don't underestimate any doubt. As a tool of the village, ninjas would report it directly if they had even the slightest suspicion of someone. Once she reported to the Hokage office that she suspected that she was a fake Mizuki and a spy from another village. Then third generation will immediately order his arrest, take him to the interrogation room, torture him, and even directly probe his brain. At that point, his identity as a time traveler will be immediately exposed and he will be completely relieved. The village's attitude towards defection is different from that towards spies. If someone is suspected of defecting, the village will not take action immediately. Because the defection did not occur, the village had no evidence and could not arrest the person directly. When it comes to spies, it's completely different. As long as there is reason to suspect that you are a spy, you will be taken directly to the interrogation room. Rejection will be immediately suspected, but acceptance can be delayed. So, the best option is to follow her first, he lamented in his heart. I, a dignified man, have actually fallen to the point where I have to sell my body to protect myself? What a sin. I wish that something would happen outside at this time and would allow me to leave this house. Mizuki-kun, why don't you take a shower? Do you want to take a shower with me? Mizuki's face turned red and he stammered, this, that. Advertisement Chun covered her mouth and smiled. Why are you shy? It's not like we haven't washed together before. Wait for me. I'll go into the bathroom with you after changing the sheets. By the way, don't forget safety. Mizuki. What should I do? I can't stand it at all. At this moment, a rapid knock on the door suddenly sounded. Mizuki felt like he was being pardoned, thinking that the opportunity had come. But he pretended to be unhappy on his face, cursing and saying, "Who is it, in the middle of the night?" Iruka's voice sounded outside the door. "Teacher Mizuki, it's an emergency. Sasuke stole the sealed book from Naruto's house and hid somewhere." Mizuki. What the hell? Is there a mistake in the name? Why is it Sasuke who steals the sealed book, not Naruto? Moreover, why is the sealed book in Naruto's house? He hurriedly opened the door and asked, "Teacher Iruka, what's going on?" Iruka said, "I don't know the specifics. It was the news from Anbu. Now many people in the village know about it. No matter what, we must find Sasuke and bring back the sealed book scroll." Mizuki was stunned. This plot is very familiar. Isn't it exactly the same as the plot in the anime where Mizuki designed Naruto to steal the sealed book? In the anime, Mizuki tricked Naruto into stealing the sealed book, and then spread the news throughout the village that Naruto had stolen the sealed book. Clearly, there's something wrong with that Anbu. The first Hokage's sealed book is the most precious ninjutsu scroll in the village. It is really unforgivable for Sasuke to make such a mistake. Does he want to defect with the sealed book? Iruka said, as an orphan of Uchiha, Sasuke's heart is full of hatred. He may have been bewitched by some kind and stole the sealed book in order to become stronger. But with the sealed book in hand, the bewitched person will definitely tell him the importance of the sealed book. After he learns about it, he will be afraid of the punishment of the village and choose to defect. Now, let's split up and look for him immediately. We must not let him defect successfully. Mizuki nodded and said, "Okay, I'll change my clothes, pants and shoes and set off." Iruka took the first step, and Mizuki turned around and entered the room, explaining, "Tsubaki, it's an urgent mission. I'm afraid it will be very late tonight." Chun said, "Well, the mission is important." Mizuki put on the Chunin suit, and instead of heading out of the village like Iruka, he rushed towards the Uchiha tribe. At this time, Sasuke has not yet come into contact with Orochimaru, so he should not defect. The most important thing is that the sealed book must be fake, so when Sasuke opens the sealed book and finds out that it is fake, he will not defect. This is his judgment. Whether it is right or not depends on the result. Originally this matter had nothing to do with him, but now that he encountered it, he decided to intervene. The purpose is to accept Sasuke as a disciple and get more opportunities for apprenticeship in return. To recruit a disciple, you must first make contact. He jumped on the roof and moved quickly towards the Uchiha tribe. In the village, there are also many ninjas on the move, looking for traces of Sasuke. But they all thought Sasuke was going to defect and looked outside the village, but Mizuki did the opposite. Soon, the Uchiha tribe arrived. Advertisement: the empty streets were silent. Two figures, one large and one small, were confronting each other. "Sasuke-kun, the sealed book is the most important thing in Konoha. If you steal the sealed book, Konoha will kill you. Now you have the only option to defect to Konoha. Master Orochimaru is one of the former Sannin of Konoha. He is very powerful. The Sound Ninja Village he established welcomes you very much. When you arrive at the Sound Ninja Village, Master Orochimaru will teach you personally. Your cultivation will improve by leaps and bounds. In a few years you will have the strength to take revenge." Sasuke looked at the masked Anbu in front of him and asked directly, "Can Orochimaru, one of the Sannin, kill Uchiha Itachi?" The opponent's breath suffocated and his movements froze. "Haha," Sasuke sneered. "Orochimaru can't kill Uchiha Itachi, but he claims that he can train me to have the strength to kill Uchiha Itachi. It's a joke." Sasuke has always been like this. In the anime, he came into contact with Orochimaru in the Death Forest and realized Orochimaru's power, but he had no intention of defecting. After being killed by Orochimaru in the third Hokage, he realized Orochimaru's power and had the idea of defecting. When Kakashi was instantly killed by Itachi, he realized that if he continued to practice with Kakashi, he would never be Itachi's opponent, so he decisively abandoned Kakashi and defected. In addition, this is not a sealed book filled with forbidden technique at all, but a prank fake created by Naruto. What happened tonight was just a joke between Naruto and me. So, I will not defect. Anbu on the opposite side smiled and said, "Now that you are unwilling, I will knock you out and kidnap you directly. But before that, the little mouse hiding in the dark must be dealt with." As soon as he finished speaking, 3 shurikens flew out and shot towards the corner not far away like lightning. In the corner, Mizuki looked at the shuriken in front of him and broke into a cold sweat. Seeing that he was about to be hit at the next moment, he had a thought. There was a bang, white smoke flashed by, and the wooden block fell to the ground with a bang. At the critical moment, he used the body replacement technique to escape the attack. "Huh? Body replacement technique? When did you get the seal?" The other party was very surprised. Mizuki squatted on the tree, recalling the feeling when he used the body replacement technique just now, and he already understood something in his heart. At this time, Sasuke had already taken advantage of the gap and hid in the house. Anbu didn't pay attention, but turned around to look for Mizuki's location. "It's well hidden, but it's of no use to me." A snake emerged from his sleeve. Snake Nobuko swallowed and then hissed towards Mizuki's position. "Got you." Before he finished speaking, a kunai was shot towards Mizuki. This time Mizuki was much calmer. Seeing the kunai in front of him, the body replacement technique was activated again. There was a bang, and white smoke appeared. And in the white smoke, the sound of kunai entering flesh was heard. When the white smoke dissipated, they saw the Anbu in the bushes with a kunai stuck in his throat. Mizuki, on the other hand, appeared where Anbu was standing just now. The two people actually exchanged positions at that moment. Is this the upgraded body rep chapter 6? Taking on Sasuke as a disciple, new return. Mizuki panted heavily. He had consumed a third of his chakra just now. The upgraded body replacement technique consumes a lot of money. But the effect is amazing. Let the enemy be killed by his own kunai without any defense. Life and death are reversed in an instant. You can replace yourself and any object in an instant, and it doesn't matter whether the replacement is dead or alive. The body replacement technique, one of the 3 body techniques, emits white smoke when activated, blocking the enemy's sight, and replaces his own body with a wooden stake, while he takes the opportunity to jump away and hide. It is a disruptive technique that makes the opponent think that the attack was successful. In essence, the body replacement technique is just a simple trick. The upgraded body replacement technique is simply a replica of the Rinnegan Eye technique and Tenshou power. Time and Space Ninjutsu. Good guy. From the most basic E-level ninjutsu, it has been directly upgraded to S-level ninjutsu. Although the chakra consumption is a bit scary, with his current total amount of chakra, he can only use it 3 times in a short period of time. But Mizuki still said, "It smells so good." The upgraded effects of transformation technique and body replacement technique have been figured out, and only clone technique is left. I will study it when I have time. He came under the tree, looked at the corpse, and frowned immediately. Because the corpse's throat was pierced by kunai, and no blood flowed out. Is it a puppet? No. The sound of kunai entering flesh just now is unmistakable. It is definitely flesh. A closer look revealed the results quickly. This Anbu had been dead for at least 3 hours. There was another fatal wound on his back. He had been dead for 3 hours, but he could still move. Mizuki narrowed his eyes. If it's not Impure World reincarnation, then it's definitely Death Soul technique. Yakushi Kabuto. Death Soul technique, Yakushi Kabuto's specialty, briefly controls the movement of corpses. Yakushi Kabuto once used this technique to deceive Kakashi. Mizuki immediately became alert. For the Dead Soul technique, the controller cannot be too far away from the corpse, which means that Yakushi Kabuto is nearby. The murderous intention in the dark is spreading. Ninja technique. Nirvana abode technique. After a soft drink, feathers descended from the sky. However, this genjutsu, which can make people fall asleep, has no effect on Mizuki. The principle of illusion is quite simple. Interfere with the flow of chakra in the opponent's body and control it, thereby manipulating the opponent's 5 senses and causing him to fall into hallucinations. The stronger the chakra controllability, the higher the illusion resistance. For example, little Sakura during the Chunin exam was not affected by the Nirvana Vihara technique due to her excellent chakra controllability. Mizuki's chakra controllability is almost 100%. Yakushi Kabuto, who secretly casts genjutsu, cannot control Mizuki's chakra at all, let alone control the 5 senses. Humph, I found you. Yakushi Kabuto's voice revealed his location. Mizuki flicked his hand and fired 3 kunai towards Yakushi Kabuto's hiding place. A black figure jumped out, holding a kunai, ding ding ding, knocking down the shuriken, and then rushed towards Mizuki. Just then, footsteps sounded in the distance. Seeing someone coming again, the black shadow turned around and walked away very fast. After a few jumps, he disappeared into the woods. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief. Judging from the body shape, the opponent is probably Yakushi Kabuto. Advertisement with Mizuki's current strength, if he faced Yakushi Kabuto head-on, he would definitely be defeated. Mizuki, what's going on here? Is Sasuke at home? The person coming was Iruka. He originally looked outside the village, but later heard some villagers say that he turned around and came back after seeing Sasuke walking towards the Uchiha tribe's land. Mizuki said, "I'll talk more about what's going on here when I see Mr. Hokage later." Sasuke is indeed at home. There was a fight just now and he hid. Iruka quickly took Sasuke out, and after a while, Anbu came to investigate and took away the body. It's almost early in the morning, and the Hokage office is brightly lit. Iruka, Mizuki, Sasuke, and a few Anbu. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen also came from home, his face as dark as water. His research results came out, so he was very unhappy. Mizuki, you tell me about tonight first. Mizuki described in detail what he saw and heard after arriving at the Uchiha tribe's land, leaving nothing out. Dead Soul technique? Third generation frowned and looked at an Anbu investigator on the side. Anbu nodded and said, Luo's death time was more than 4 hours, and his heart continued to beat after death. He was indeed controlled by the Dead Soul technique. Third generation took a few puffs of its pipe, its eyes focused. The spy planted by Orochimaru in the village has mastered the Death Soul technique and should be an excellent medical ninja. Anbu investigates from this aspect, confirms the target as soon as possible and then arrests him. Third generation's eyes turn to Sasuke. The sealed book is fake, it's Naruto's prank, I will criticize Naruto. As for Sasuke, he was just instigated, but he found his way back and it didn't cause any adverse consequences to the village, so the matter was dropped. It's late at night, everyone should disperse. As Mizuki expected, third generation did not punish Sasuke in any way. Before leaving, Itachi threatened Danzo that if something happened to Sasuke, he would tell other countries Konoha's secrets. As long as he doesn't make a very harmful mistake, Konoha will never do anything to Sasuke. By the time everyone dispersed, it was already dawn. On the way home, Mizuki walked slowly. Although it was already the second day, there was still a beautiful woman lying on the bed at home, and he was a little scared. Behind him, Sasuke followed not far away. When Mizuki arrived home and was about to go upstairs, Sasuke walked up quickly and said, "Hey." Mizuki turned around and glanced, saying, "What's the matter?" "Sasuke. Teach me the ninjutsu of swapping places with the enemy, and I'll give you money, 1,000,000 taels." Last night, he hid in the house and watched everything that happened outside. When he saw the Anbu being killed by his own kunai, Sasuke seemed to see the future and saw the death of Uchiha Itachi. He was extremely eager to learn this ninjutsu. At this time, Sasuke's chin was slightly raised, with an expression that said that if you exchange 1,000,000 for a ninjutsu, you would make a lot of money. Mizuki's eyes twitched. "Good guy, your attitude is like asking someone to do something? If it were anyone else, it would be a mercy not to smoke you." Although Mizuki was a little unhappy, no matter how unhappy he was, he couldn't resist the system's refund. The purpose of showing off some of his strength last night was to recruit Sasuke as his disciple and harvest the system's wool. "I can teach you, I don't want money, but you have to call me master and kneel down and kowtow, and I will teach you for free." "What, kowtow?" Sasuke's eyes were filled with anger. "Do you think the money is too little? 1,000,000 taels is not enough, so 3,000,000 taels. Mizuki smiled. "It's not about money. If you want to learn ninjutsu, you must do as I say, otherwise there will be no discussion. Advanced ninjutsu cannot be learned just by wanting to learn it." Seeing Mizuki's back going up the stairs, Sasuke clenched his fists, his eyes full of struggle. Advanced ninjutsu, advanced ninjutsu. If I learn it, I won't be helpless when facing that man again." Advertisement. Before he learned it, he started to drift. Back home, Chun had already gotten up and was preparing breakfast. Mizuki secretly breathed a sigh of relief. "This night, I escaped." After Tsubaki left, Mizuki caught up on his sleep and waited until the afternoon to go out to find a new apprentice. Each apprentice has 3 opportunities to be rewarded every month. Therefore, he wants to recruit more apprentices. The more apprentices he has, the more times he returns them, and the faster his strength will increase. Walking on the street, passing by a bathhouse, I happened to see Naruto being taken out of a female bathhouse, along with a kid, Konohamaru. "Yo, Naruto, what are you doing?" When Naruto saw Mizuki, he said awkwardly, "Master, I didn't do anything." Konohamaru said, "Brother Naruto is teaching me the seduction technique. When I learn it, I can beat Grandpa." "Well, you are Brother Naruto's master. Your seduction skills are definitely better than Brother Naruto's. Can you teach me?" Mizuki. "I don't know how, I didn't teach you, don't talk nonsense." Mizuki turned around and walked away quickly. "You can accept anyone as your apprentice, but you can't accept Konohamaru, at least not until Sarutobi hears and dies." As he walked, he came near the Uchiha tribe and saw Uchiha Sasuke sitting by the lake from a distance, staring blankly at the lake. Sasuke noticed someone and turned around to see Mizuki. A look of struggle immediately appeared in his eyes, but soon the struggle disappeared and turned into determination. Coming to Mizuki, Sasuke said, "I must learn that ninjutsu. I agree to your conditions." After saying that, he kowtowed to Mizuki and shouted, "Master." In order to become stronger, he stopped being arrogant. Mizuki was overjoyed and finally had another apprentice. The wool of the system can be continued. "Get up. Since you accept me as your teacher, I will naturally teach you ninjutsu." The ninjutsu used last night was the advanced technique of body replacement technique, displacement. This is a time and space ninjutsu, level S. Sasuke got excited when he heard S-class. Mizuki added, "This technique is extremely difficult to learn and requires extremely high chakra controllability. Now you cannot learn it immediately, you must lay the foundation first. Today, I will first teach you how to climb trees and tread water." After that, Mizuki took Sasuke to the woods and demonstrated tree climbing. Gather an appropriate amount of chakra on the soles of your feet to create suction, which will fix the person on the tree without falling off and allow you to walk freely. Practicing tree climbing can increase your control over chakra. When you can climb to the top of the tree in one breath, your chakra control will be qualitatively improved. After teaching tree climbing, the system's voice rang. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. You grant your disciple Uchiha Sasuke the tree climbing practice method, triggering a double return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the wall climbing practice method. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki exploded directly. Damn system, double the return, you also give it a shot? With a dark face, Mizuki took Sasuke to the lake again and demonstrated and explained the method of treading water. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. You grant your apprentice Uchiha Sasuke the treading water practice method, triggering a 10,000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Yeah? Mizuki was overjoyed. If it's 10,000 times better, it won't be bad at all. Congratulations, you have obtained the practice method of stepping on the air. Close black lens bracket. Step on the air practice method. Step on the air with your feet, and rise step by step. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki's eyes widened. Is this going to be the rhythm of God? Chapter 7. The consumption of apparition. How far do I have to practice before I can learn the apparition technique? Sasuke could only see apparition in his eyes. Mizuki. Whenever your chakra control ability allows you to perform one-handed seals, you can learn to transform. One-hand seal? Can one hand also seal? Sasuke's eyes widened, as if he had opened the door to a new world. Mizuki explained. As the control of chakra increases, the release of ninjutsu will become easier and easier. When your chakra control ability reaches a certain level, you can form the seal with one hand. When the chakra control ability continues to become stronger, you can simplify the seals, such as the Great Fireball technique. The order of the seals is Si Wei Shen Hai Wu Yin, a total of 6 seals. After simplifying, there is no need to seal, both hands with one tap, the ninjutsu can be released. Sasuke was already stunned. Create a seal with one hand, or even be able to release ninjutsu without forming a seal. Can anyone really do it? He didn't believe it. Mizuki smiled and said, one-handed hand seal, as far as I know, 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato can do it. As for releasing ninjutsu directly without forming seals, there are also some, such as 1st Hokage Senju Hashirama. Oh, by the way, your classmate, Uzumaki Naruto, can also do the same thing as Senju Hashirama. He claps his hands and shouts to kill. Sasuke looked at Mizuki, thinking he was joking. Don't be kidding me. Naruto is a bad guy. He can't use the clone technique well. He can't even graduate. You think he can release ninjutsu without forming seals? Mizuki smiled without explaining. Sasuke asked again. I only practice climbing trees and treading water. I'm afraid I still can't do the one-handed seal. Mizuki nodded and said, learning to climb trees and tread water is still far away. You need to practice consciously. For example, control the chakra to change its shape, form a vortex in the palm of your hand, or turn into the shape of a small animal. In short, your purpose is to make chakra absolutely listen to you. Although what Mizuki said was very general, Sasuke already had a goal and direction in his mind. Okay, practice it yourself. Mizuki only accepts apprentices for the sake of rewards from the system. He does not really regard Naruto, Sasuke, etc. as his apprentices, nor does he have any intention of cultivating them into talents. So, just train by yourself. You already have the benefits of being a teacher. I have no interest in supervising and guiding. This is called, the master leads you in, and cultivation depends on the individual. He also told Sasuke not to make the apparition technique public, and then turned around and left. As he walked, he thought about it. Sasuke had another opportunity to give a return. So, what to give? How about, like Naruto, a bowl of ramen? Using apparition last night cost him a third of his chakra in one go. This made him realize that he had slightly more chakra than Kakashi, but it was still not enough. My current total amount of chakra is about 1.1 cards. Using one use of apparition consumes about 0.37 cards. The consumption is huge. Moreover, he also speculated that the cost of apparating was probably related to the distance. The further the distance, the greater the consumption. Find a place to try it at night and see if there is any relationship between consumption and distance. He would not randomly use upgraded ninjutsu in broad daylight. Firstly, someone is secretly watching, and secondly, 3rd Hokage's telescope technique is undetectable. Swagger uses apparition, and 3rd generation will know it in minutes. Based on the principle that doing more is worse than doing less, Mizuki thinks it is better to be cautious. Only at night, when he tests the effects of his ninjutsu in the dark and under the fire, can he feel safe. Advertisement. There is also the air stepping practice method. You have to find time to practice it. Standing on the air with your feet, rising step by step, it sounds awesome. Everything will wait until night. Today, the graduates took photos to register their ninja information. The ninja school was on holiday. Mizuki got rid of having nothing to do and ran to the river outside the village to fish. In his previous life, he was a fishing enthusiast. He fished in winter and summer, and never slept or ate. Even if you travel through time, you can't lose your hobbies. And his reasons are very good. I have a system, so I don't need to practice. If I don't fish, what else can I do? You can eat the fish you catch, boiled fish, pickled fish, grilled fish. You can save a lot of money on buying food. If you can't finish it, you can sell it to support your family. Therefore, fishing is a great career with a bright future. Hokage building, Hokage office, 3rd generation is sitting behind the desk, smoking a pipe. The newly graduated ninja's level file was ready and he could deal with other things. There was a knock on the door, and 3rd generation said, come in. The door opened, Nara Shikaku walked in, and closed the door smoothly. Master 3rd generation, are you looking for me? Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded and said, Shikaku, I have a task for you. He took out the fake chakra control pill and said, this pill can improve the ninja's control over chakra, but it is only effective for senju and ninjas from the Uzumaki clan. Yesterday, Uzumaki Naruto ate 2 pills, and his chakra control ability was greatly improved, reaching the level of 1st Hokage. No need to form seals, he can directly release ninjutsu. Shikaku was shocked and asked in disbelief, 3rd generation Sama, are you kidding me? With just 2 pills, you can make a kid's chakra control reach the level of a ninja god. This is absolutely impossible. 3rd generation looked serious and said, it's true. Shikaku didn't know what to say for a moment. He told Shikaku what happened yesterday, including Naruto's performance, including the origin of the elixir, Mizuki's words, and last night's test. I personally tested it last night. The powder scraped from the surface of this elixir reacted when it encountered Naruto's blood. But when it encountered other blood, there was no reaction, exactly as Mizuki said. After Shikaku was shocked, he asked, "So third generation Sama, what is the mission you have given me?" Third generation. The Nara clan is very knowledgeable in medicine. I order you to bring back this elixir and study it carefully, and try to improve it as much as possible to eliminate its restrictions on bloodline. If it succeeds, then Konoha's strength will advance by leaps and bounds, and will once again reach the heights of first generation, or even exceed them. At that time, the Fire Country will no longer be threatened by other countries. In fact, the entire ninja world will usher in peace. Shikaku wanted to refuse, but third generation didn't seem to give him the right to refuse at all, and handed over the elixir directly. He could only take the elixir and said, "Master third generation, I can only promise to research it to the best of my ability, but I can't guarantee whether it can be successful." Third generation waved his hand and said, "This mission has no time limit. 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. As long as Konoha is still there and as long as the Nara clan is still there, the mission must continue until it succeeds." Nara Shikaku was also shocked by third generation's determination. "In this case, I will do my best, and the Nara family will also do their best." After Shikaku left, third generation sighed, "I hope it can be researched as soon as possible." And Anbu, who was sent to the Uzushio village ruins, hopes to find more of this elixir. After taking a few puffs on his pipe, he took out his crystal ball and cast the telescope technique. 3 minutes later, blood suddenly spurted from his nostrils and he fell to the ground. I finally got up, my face still red. Naruto is such a good guy, he doesn't learn from others, he just comes up with crooked ideas. Advertisement, I actually combined the seduction technique with the shadow clone technique to develop the harem technique. It's so ridiculous. If Konohamaru follows him, I always feel like he will learn bad things in the future. Control the telescope technique, shift the perspective, and quickly find Mizuki. Fishing. The third generation just doesn't understand. A dignified ninja who doesn't practice ninjutsu, refines chakra, or practices shuriken kanai goes fishing? At such a young age, you are already living the life of an elderly person? I haven't retired yet, why do you have time to fish? Seeing Mizuki sitting quietly by the river, staring at the fish float without blinking, third generation felt jealous. But at the same time, he also saw tranquility and love for life in Mizuki. Will such a person really defect? Or maybe he sensed that someone was watching him, so he deliberately fished and pretended to love life and Konoha so that the village could dispel their suspicion of him. As old conspirators and old politicians, third generation has always been good at trying to figure out people's hearts with the greatest malice. So he felt that Mizuki was pretending. HMPH, it's okay to lie to others, but you're a little too young to lie to me. He labeled Mizuki as good at disguise, and he became more wary of Mizuki. However, the dignified Chunin actually goes fishing. This is too unprofessional. The ninja school is about to have 2 months of summer vacation, we can't let him sit idle all day. He has plans to defect, so he cannot be allowed to take on the task of leaving the village. In this case, why not? He quickly made a letter of appointment and called an Anbu. Early tomorrow morning, send this appointment letter to Chunin Mizuki's home and hand it to him personally. Time passed and it was night in a blink of an eye. Late at night, Mizuki closed the doors and windows, drew the curtains, and turned off the lights. The room was dark, and he began to experiment with apparition. The target of the exchange is a chair. For the first time, the chair was placed in the living room and the others were in the bedroom, 10 meters apart. With a bang, white smoke appeared, and the positions of Mizuki and the chair were successfully exchanged. Chakra was consumed about 1/10, and sure enough, it was less than what was consumed last night. Last night when he used disapparition, the distance between him and the opponent was more than 30 meters, close to 40 meters. Now the experimental results are out. The further away the target is, the greater the consumption will be. Keep experimenting. Extend the distance to 15 meters, which is already the longest distance between his homes. Casting disapparition again, the chakra consumption was about 1/3 more than before. Proportional to distance, it is estimated that for every 1 meter of distance, an additional 0.01 calories of chakra will be consumed. With my current total amount of chakra, I can move up to 110 meters at a time, but the chakra will also be exhausted. 110 meters, which is very close for a ninja. If you want to use this opportunity to defect to Konoha, it is absolutely impossible. So, my total amount of chakra is far from enough. Let's take Sasuke to eat ramen to chapter 8. Wind-style chakra nature transformation, is it difficult? After experimenting with the transformation, Mizuki had a detailed understanding of the new ninjutsu obtained after the body replacement technique upgrade. Next is the air stepping technique. Strictly speaking, air stepping is not a ninjutsu, but a method of using chakra similar to climbing a tree or treading water. It is more appropriate to say it is ability. In his mind, he has a complete training method of stepping on the air. The principle of stepping on the air is very simple. A large amount of high-speed chakra is ejected from the Yongchen point on the sole of the foot, creating an upward reverse thrust. It is the same as the principle of rocket lift-off, it is Newton's third law. To learn the art of stepping on the air, 3 conditions must be met. The first condition is that chakra control needs to be extremely strong. I have already achieved this condition, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. The second condition is that chakra needs to complete the wind attribute nature transformation. This is a bit troublesome for me, but it is not too difficult. The chakra attribute that Mizuki is best at is earth. But this does not mean that he can only complete the earth attribute nature transformation. In the ninja world, the 7 attributes are water, earth, fire, wind, thunder, yin and yang. Everyone is born with these 7 attributes, but some attributes have high affinity and some have low affinity. Those with high affinity can be detected by chakra test strips. Chakra test strips cannot test for low affinity, but this does not mean that it does not exist. Mizuki has a high affinity with the earth attribute, and it is easiest to complete the earth attribute nature transformation. For the other 6 attributes, as long as you master the methods and spend time exercising, you can also complete nature transformation. Generally speaking, Jonin masters 2 or more nature transformations. For example, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen mastered the 7 chakra nature transformations of water, earth, wind, fire, thunder, yin, and yang through practice, and the Grandmaster 5 Escape Ninjutsu has thousands of types, so he is known as the Ninjutsu Professor. Another example is the copy ninja Kakashi, who also masters the 7 chakra nature transformations and is famous in the ninja world. For the wind attribute, I know how to practice it, and with the imperial chakra control, it won't be a big problem. The most troublesome thing is the third condition. The Yangshan point must be strong enough to withstand the impact of a large amount of chakra in an instant without being damaged. This step is the most troublesome and time-consuming. It requires continuous exercise and specific medicinal materials to soak and warm the feet. The required medicinal materials are very expensive. On his way back from fishing today, he bought some medicinal materials for foot soaks. Just one pair of medicines cost him 6,000 taels. They are all precious medicinal materials, so they are very expensive. A medicine can only be used once, and the practice of stepping on the air will take at least a month. 1 dose of medicine every day, for a month, will cost 200,000 taels. This is still a conservative estimate. Including the 100,000 taels given by 3rd generation yesterday, the money he has is only 120,000 taels. Those 20,000 were saved by frugality, totally not enough. The ninja school is about to have another holiday. I am a teaching assistant and I don't have a paid holiday yet. Good guy, I've only traveled through time for a few days and I'm already short of money. It's really embarrassing to the vast number of time travelers. It seems that the most important thing to learn the art of stepping on the air is money. Well, go find Sasuke tomorrow. That night, Shun didn't come, so Mizuki had a good sleep. The next morning, Mizuki was about to go out to school to find Sasuke when there was a knock on the door. It was an Anbu. Chunin Mizuki, Lord 3rd Hokage has appointed you to serve as Hokage Building Mission Assistant during the summer vacation to assist Lord Hokage in issuing missions to Team Genin. While working as an assistant, I worked 8 hours a day and received a daily salary of 80 taels. This is the appointment letter, please keep it. Report to the Hokage Building Mission Hall at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on time. Anbu said and left. Advertisement Mizuki took the appointment letter and wanted to curse. 80 taels per day, calculated as 30 days in a month, which is 2,400 taels. The lowest D-level tasks, such as helping villagers weed, feed pigs, take care of children, pick up garbage, catch cats, etc. Each time you complete one, you can get a bounty ranging from 500 taels to 10,000 taels. If the lady's beloved cat Xiaohu often gets lost, the lady will issue a cat-catching mission, and if she catches the cat, she will receive a reward of 10,000 taels. Lousy's salary for 1 month's work is not as much as catching a cat? Working as a teaching assistant in school, I still have 3,000 taels a month. Dog 3rd generation, treat Lousy as free labor, right? You wait for Lousy. The Hokage's appointment cannot be refused, unless he defects or goes to jail. Early in the morning, Konoha school became lively. Today is the day when graduates are sorted into classes. Mizuki stood waiting at the school gate. After waiting for a while, Sasuke arrived. Sasuke, come here with me. Sasuke saw Mizuki and said, just in time, I have something to ask you about my practice. The two came to a corner, and before Sasuke could ask, Mizuki took out a wad of money. Yesterday, your apprenticeship was rushed and I didn't give you any apprenticeship ceremony. Let's make up for it today. This is 100,000 miles, don't be too little. Sasuke. Well, I'm not short of money. Although Uchiha was exterminated, with Itachi as a time bomb, 3rd generation really didn't dare to do it. Although most of the Uchiha clan's inheritance was looted by the village, there was still a lot left to Sasuke. A mere 100,000 miles away, he couldn't even look down on it. Unlike Naruto, whose parents are dead and has no one to support him, he has lost nothing of the legacy of the 4th generation. When Mizuki saw that Sasuke refused to accept it, he said with a straight face, whether you are short of money or not has nothing to do with me. This is the apprenticeship gift I provide you. If you don't accept it, you don't recognize me as your master. Then don't ask me for practice matters in the future. Sasuke. Okay, I'll just accept it reluctantly. Black lines appeared on Mizuki's forehead. This kid really deserves a beating. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. You grant 100,000 taels of money to your apprentice Uchiha Sasuke, triggering a 1,000-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have received 100 million taels of money, which has been stored in the bedroom closet at home. Close black lens bracket. Hearing the sound of the system, Mizuki smiled. It feels so good to be taken care of by the system brother. After receiving the money, he turned around and left. Sasuke became anxious and shouted, "Don't leave, I haven't asked you about your practice yet." Mizuki waved his hand without looking at Kaido. "Don't ask, the briefing will start soon. You should go to the classroom quickly and wait until you have time." After saying that, the man walked away quickly. Sasuke looked at Mizuki's back and felt an indescribable strange feeling in his heart. Waiting for me at the school gate early in the morning just to give you money? The Uchiha clan is very sensitive, and Sasuke always feels that Mizuki has some ulterior secret. Mizuki left the ninja school and quickly returned home. He did not enter the bedroom in a hurry, but assumed that the school briefing session was about to begin before entering the bedroom. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen's attention is on the ninja school and will not pay attention to me. When I opened the closet, I immediately saw 3 black leather boxes. The heartbeat accelerated suddenly. He took out a box and opened it. It was full of banknotes, which made Mizuki's eyes light up. Get rich, advertisement now, you no longer have to worry about money to buy medicine. I took out 200,000 taels, went to Nara's pharmacy, and bought more than a month's worth of medicine. Anbu, who was also being secretly monitored, immediately reported this matter to 3rd Hokage. You mean, Mizuki bought 200,000 taels worth of medicine at the drugstore? 3rd Generation took the pipe out of his mouth and confirmed again. Anbu said, "Yes, Lord 3rd Generation, I have written down the types and quantities of medicinal materials." 3rd Generation's eyes flashed. What are Mizuki doing buying medicine? The first thing 3rd Generation thought of was the Chakra control pill. The Chakra control pill was taken out by Mizuki. Now Mizuki has bought so many medicines, and they are all precious medicinal materials. This has to make 3rd Generation suspect that Mizuki is making Chakra control pill. 3rd Generation said, "You continue to monitor Mizuki's every move, especially about those medicinal materials. You must report to me in detail." Yes. Anbu took the order and left, continuing to monitor Mizuki. The 3rd Generation's attention has also been successfully transferred from Konoha School to Mizuki's home. The telescope technique was activated, and then he saw Mizuki soaking her feet. In the foot bath bucket, there is not only water, but also various medicinal materials. 3rd Generation took a closer look and saw that these medicinal materials were exactly the ones Anbu reported to him just now. 3rd Generation opened its mouth in shock. Mizuki, he spent 200,000 taels to buy rare medicinal materials and soak his feet? Are you kidding me? Even famous people are not so extravagant? 3rd Generation couldn't stand it anymore and hurriedly closed the telescope technique. He was afraid that if he continued to watch it, he would be so angry that he would rush to Mizuki's house and kill all the zombies. Mizuki soaked his feet at home for half an hour, then put on his shoes and went out, walking aimlessly on the street. But no one noticed that while he was walking, Chakra was spurting out from the spring points under his feet. Anbu, who was hiding not far away to monitor Mizuki, always felt that Mizuki was a little wandering when he walked. When passing by a tree, a leaf happened to fall, and Mizuki reached out to catch it. Then bring your hands together and wrap the leaves in the palms of your hands. Wind-style chakra is characterized by cutting and tearing. The practice of wind-style chakra nature transformation is to use chakra to cut leaves. Starting today, I will not only exercise the Yangshen point on the soles of my feet, but also practice the wind-style chakra nature transformation. In the palm of his hand, chakra gathered, Mizuki kept in mind the 2 concepts of cutting and tearing. The next moment, he made a move. Spreading the palms of his hands, he saw that the originally complete leaves in his hands had been split into 2 parts from the middle. Is this possible? Mizuki is a little confused. Isn't the wind attribute very rare in Konoha? It should be very difficult to practice, but he succeeded so easily? In my memory, Mizuki practiced earth-style chakra nature transformation and it took several years to succeed. In other words, Mizuki's own cultivation qualifications are not good. Could it be chakra control? It seems that this is the only explanation. Wind-style chakra nature transformation has been completed and 2 of the 3 necessary conditions have been met. Next, all that's left is to strengthen the Yangshen point. This can't be done in a hurry. Even with the help of medicinal foot soaking, it will take at least a month. A month is not too slow. The day is not far away when I can control the sky with nothingness. At that time, the ninja world will be so big that I will be able to fly. Chapter 9. Team 7 Survival Exercise from the gushing point on the sole of the foot, wind-style chakra spurts downward. Mizuki clearly felt an upward pushback force, making his body become lighter. But it's not enough to fly. The amount of chakra ejected was not enough and the speed was not fast enough, resulting in insufficient reverse thrust. Although Mizuki's chakra control is enough to spray more chakra faster. However, the Yangshen point is still too tender and cannot bear the impact of too much stimulation. It is not impossible to forcefully take off, but the result will be that the soles of the feet will burst and the person will become a cripple. Practice slowly. Half an hour later, Mizuki's chakra has bottomed out. Continuously releasing chakra into the soles of your feet is too exhausting. As soon as he stopped chakra output, Mizuki felt pain and numbness in the sole of his foot, as if a prickly peppercorn had been stuck. Yangshen Cave was washed away by chakra for half an hour and suffered considerable damage. Mizuki is very calm. This is something that must be experienced when practicing the air-stepping technique. If you want to become stronger, you have to pay the price. I moved home with difficulty, immediately boiled some potion and soaked my feet. The moment his feet entered the water, the sting suddenly intensified and turned into a tearing pain. Mizuki almost screamed and tried to lift his foot out of control, but he forced it down into the water with his hands. Tolerate. Gradually, the pain subsided and turned into indescribable relief. Half an hour later, the medicine was exhausted, and Mizuki pulled out his foot before he could finish it. The system is the same and it makes it so troublesome. It would be great if you just let me master the air-stepping technique. Even if there is medicine to help, the soles of the feet cannot recover immediately, and there is no way to continue exercising the Yangshen point today. In the afternoon, Mizuki went fishing again by the river in the forest. While fishing, I was thinking about who I should choose as my next apprentice. Let's talk about the 12 Shaoqiang first. The two members of the Hyuga family focus on gentle fist. Ino Shikacho cultivates the family's secret arts. Shino plays with teeth and dogs, and Xiao Li focuses on playing with taijutsu, and is a ninja tool fan every day. These 9 people all have their own heritage. Unlike Naruto and Sasuke, they have no father's love and no mother's love, so they are easy to fool. So, little Sakura has a better chance. Little Sakura was born as a commoner. After entering class 7, she basically learned nothing from Kakashi. In the end, he apprenticed under Tsunade and learned medical ninjutsu, which gave him room for improvement. If little Sakura knows that Sasuke is also my apprentice, she will definitely follow suit. Mizuki is very confident that little Sakura will definitely consider him as her teacher. In addition, my thinking cannot be too limited. Konoha is not the only one with 12 small powers. The helpless orphans in the orphanage can also be considered. In comparison, the success rate of accepting orphans as disciples is definitely greater. Of course, the premise is that you are familiar with the orphanage. I have to think of a way to launder the money at home and make it legal, and then go to the orphanage as often as possible. Fishing frees people from distracting thoughts and allows them to focus on problems. So it cannot be considered idle. In the evening, Mizuki returned to the village and passed by the Ichiraku ramen restaurant, and happened to meet Naruto at the door. Master Mizuki, would you like to eat ramen too? Great, let's go together. Mizuki raised his eyebrows and said, didn't you just come out of it? Why are you talking about it together? Naruto. I was so happy to see the handsome master that I felt hungry again. I can still eat 3 more big bowls. Mizuki was speechless. This kid actually learned how to flatter. Advertisement. This is an addiction to taking advantage. Mizuki chuckled and said, I was just passing by and didn't plan to eat ramen, so if you want to eat, just go in by yourself. Ah, Naruto was disappointed. Forget it, I'm not interested if I'm alone. Mizuki shook his head and asked, we are divided into different classes today. Who are in the same class? Naruto immediately said, yes, we are divided into classes, and my companion is my favorite little Sakura-chan. Mizuki asked him deliberately, isn't it a class of 3? Besides little Sakura, who else is there? Naruto pouted. It's that B****************** D Sasuke, the person I hate the most. At this point, he seemed to have thought of something disgusting, and he lowered his head and retched twice. Mizuki. It seems that Naruto and Sasuke are still kissing. What's your impression of meeting the new instructor Jonin? Naruto curled his lips again and said, TCH, he is a weakling who can't even dodge a blackboard eraser. His Jonin qualifications must have been bought with money. By the way, Master Mizuki, we are going to conduct a survival drill tomorrow. Master, do you know what it will be like? Mizuki said. Survival drills are something graduates must go through, and each Jonin's survival drills are different. By the way, is your Jonin teacher a boy or a girl? Naruto. It's a man, his name is Kakashi. Mizuki said. That's easy. Come here and I'll teach you a method that will give you a greater chance of passing the test tomorrow. Naruto leaned forward and Mizuki whispered something into his ear. Understand? Naruto chuckled and said, I understand? After the two of them finished speaking, they parted ways. On the side of the street, Kakashi's shadow clone, who had become a passerby, glanced at Mizuki and then at Naruto, with a confused look on his face. Early the next morning, Mizuki came to the mission hall of the Hokage building with the appointment letter. Third generation Sama, Chunin Mizuki has come to report. Third generation held a pipe in his hand and said, Mizuki, from today until the end of the ninja school summer vacation, you will be responsible for the payment of rewards for D-class missions. Your office is in the financial room next to it. Here's the key to the safe so you can easily withdraw money. There is only one key, so don't lose it. Taking the key from third generation, Mizuki remained calm on his face, but secretly said in his heart, what a guy. He was just a little assistant, and third generation actually handed him the key to the safe. The safe contains money. In a company, the person who manages money under the boss must be a trustworthy person. Can third generation trust itself? If Mizuki really thinks this way, he is really naive. Third generation is trying to cause trouble. Mizuki realized that third generation couldn't help but want to do something to him. It's annoying. Let the Chunin exam start soon. If the third generation old man doesn't receive his lunchbox, my life will be difficult. Third generation led Mizuki into a small office next to the mission hall. After coming in, Mizuki took a look and, as expected, there was only a desk here, and he was the only one working there. The safe is under the desk. The current funds in the safe are 30 million taels. Please count them now. Mizuki. The reward for a D-level mission is between 500 taels and 10,000 taels. Even if the total is calculated as 10,000 taels, 30 million taels is enough for 3,000 times. Are there so many D-level missions in the village? Third generation is clearly tempting me to commit a crime. Unfortunately, he is going to miscalculate. Advertisement. Mizuki opened the safe and counted it 3 times. It was 30 million taels, no more, no less. And third generation watched the whole thing. He noticed that Mizuki didn't seem to be looking at the money so eagerly. This is a man of great depth. Third generation narrowed his eyes. Ever since Mizuki entered the ninja school as an assistant teacher, his monthly salary was 3,000 taels. It can be said that he was very poor and could only manage food and clothing. Yesterday, Mizuki spent nearly 200,000 yuan on medicine. So third generation is 100% sure that Mizuki is poor. And a very poor person will definitely become greedy when he sees so much money. If you are greedy all your life, you will be tempted to sin. I didn't succeed with the sealed book last time, but I can definitely do it with money this time. Mizuki's recent frequent contact with Naruto and Sasuke has given third generation a sense of crisis. He had plans to defect, had no loyalty to the village, and had killed his companions. If such a cancer continues to stay in the village and come into contact with Naruto and Sasuke, evil thoughts will spread. This is absolutely not allowed, so, what I did was not wrong. Third generation has peace of mind. He would never admit that he was jealous that Mizuki had time to fish while he didn't. Sir, third generation, after counting, it's exactly 30 million taels. Third generation nodded. Well, in the future, ninjas who complete tasks will come to collect their rewards with a receipt for completing the mission. You can just pay according to the receipt. Every day when you go to and from get off work, you have to count your money clearly. If you make any mistakes, tell me immediately. After Mizuki became familiar with the environment, he sat behind the desk and waited for the genin team who came to collect their rewards. After all, genin is the only one who takes on D-level missions. The work was very easy. In one morning, only 3 teams came to collect money. 30 million taels, only 3,000 taels will be sent out. At the same time, on the training ground, Class 7 had just begun the battle for the bell. When Kakashi announced the start, Sasuke and Sakura hid immediately. The so-called ninja, the most basic thing is to hide the aura. That's right, everyone should hide. Huh? Kakashi was speechless looking at Naruto standing struttingly in front of him. Naruto yelled. Let's have a fair showdown, Kakashi. Sasuke hiding in the tree. This huge idiot. Kakashi looked at Naruto and said speechlessly. Is there something wrong with you? Naruto. Stop talking nonsense and hand over the bell. The next moment, he clapped his hands and shouted, Forbidden technique, multiple shadow clone technique. Dozens of Narutos appeared. Kakashi's eyes suddenly shrank and he stared at Naruto's hand with horror in his eyes. No. No seal. Although the performance of multiple shadow clone technique only requires 1 Ren seal, this does not mean that no seal is required. What does it mean to be released just by clapping your hands? Sasuke and Sakura, who were hiding aside, also discovered that this was not an ordinary clone technique, but a special clone with an entity. They were surprised by Naruto's changes, and at the same time they felt a little more hopeful. Everyone, rush forward, knock him down and take away the bell. A group of Narutos rushed towards Kakashi. Kakashi had suppressed the shock in his heart and said calmly, You can't defeat me with this technique. Naruto chuckled and said, Really? So, what about this technique? Immediately afterwards, all the shadow clone clapped their hands and shouted in unison, Ninjutsu, harem technique. Chapter 10. The Pursuit of the Traitorous Ninja Mizuki. Kakashi-sensei, yeah, come on. Dozens of beauties with twin ponytails surrounded Kakashi. Those who hugged the legs, arms, waists, necks, and one even straddled the face directly, wrapping them tightly. Sasuke. Sean, _ winking face, Sean Lil Sakura. Omega, wrapped in the warm fragrance of nephrite, Kakashi's brain has shut down. Above as never before. 2 streams of blood shot out from his nostrils, and even the mask couldn't stop them. He fell to the ground screaming. But this time, the tone of voice always felt a little wrong. Bang! After the white smoke passed, the transformation and shadow clone were cancelled at the same time. Naruto held the bell in his hand, looked at Kakashi lying on the ground with his eyes white, and said loudly, It's so inferior, it's really inferior, trash Kakashi, you can't even block one of my moves. His face was full of disgust. How can such a lowly person be my mentor, Uzumaki Naruto, Jonin? I want Grandpa 3rd generation, I want to replace him. After saying that, Naruto left the training ground directly and went to the Hokage building. Little Sakura and Sasuke walked out of the forest. Little Sakura looked at Kakashi lying unconscious on the ground with a worried look on her face. Sasuke looked at Naruto's retreating back with an inexplicable light shining in his eyes. Sasuke-kun, Mr. Kakashi is in a coma. Let's take him to the hospital. That idiot Naruto is really crazy, said little Sakura. Sasuke said. No need, just leave some nosebleeds, you will wake up soon. Let's go after Naruto. What he said just now is right. Kakashi can't even hit the back of a crane. He has no qualifications to be our instructor. After that, he walked directly towards the village. Sasuke-kun. Sakura shouted, but Sasuke had no intention of looking back. She glanced at Kakashi on the ground again, and decisively went after Sasuke. Poor Kakashi, abandoned like this. After the three of them walked away, Kakashi got up from the ground. Finally they're all gone. The coma was all fake, there was nothing I could do, it was too embarrassing. Kakashi, his majestic elite Jonin, a well-known copy ninja in the ninja world, was instantly killed by a brat who had just graduated from school with a nasty ninjutsu, and was left in shame. I didn't expect Naruto to use such ninjutsu. It's really awkward and exciting. Now he is still recalling the scene just now in his mind, and he can't get rid of it. Ahem. I promised third generation to lead Team 7, but now I screwed up and I have to find a way to recover. Hokage building. Naruto rushed into the Hokage office and said loudly, Grandpa third generation, I want to change my instructor. The third generation was stunned, seeing that Naruto's face was filled with disgust, and it didn't look like he was pretending. Iruka was also on the side and shouted, Idiot Naruto, Kakashi-senpai is the elite Jonin in the village. He is very powerful. It is your honor for him to be your instructor. Naruto curled his lips. TCH, he's so powerful that he can't even withstand my harem technique. Upon hearing harem technique, third generation and Iruka coughed at the same time, and their expressions became strange. Naruto's shameless and obscene technique, they have all been hit by it, and they know the despair and helplessness very well. Even third generation, a useless old man, can't handle it, let alone Kakashi, a hot-blooded young man. Advertisement just, a bit sympathetic. Naruto, when you said you wanted to replace someone, did you mean you were the only one? Third generation asked. It is impossible to change players, and in Class 7, Kakashi is the most suitable. Naruto shouted, I don't care, someone must be replaced. Third generation shook its head. No, in addition to you, Class 7 also has Sasuke and little Sakura. Your opinions alone will not be adopted. Just then, Sasuke's voice sounded at the door. I agree with Naruto and ask for a replacement. I listened to Sasuke-kun. Sasuke and little Sakura walked in one after the other. Naruto glanced at Sasuke, then immediately turned his head away. Humph, who asked for your consent? I can handle it by myself. Sasuke said calmly. I'm not trying to help you, but I think Kakashi is too weak to guide us. So, it has nothing to do with you. Naruto. You fart, if I hadn't defeated Kakashi, why would you be standing here talking? This matter is all my fault. Little Sakura immediately shouted. Idiot Naruto, you are not allowed to talk to Sasuke-kun like this. The room suddenly became noisy, and third generation had a headache. It's impossible to change players. Kakashi is the most suitable, he just got hit once, it doesn't mean he's not strong. I can tell you that Kakashi's strength is among the best in the village and is a famous presence in the entire ninja world. He is qualified to be the instructor of Class 7. Besides Kakashi, there are no free Jonin in the village now. Either continue to follow Kakashi, or you all go back to school. Of course Naruto disagreed. No, someone must be replaced. There are no other Jonin, Chunin can do it, I think Master Mizuki is very good. Sasuke nodded. I agree. Third generation immediately said, no, Mizuki only knows 3 body technique and cannot lead the Genin team, and he has other jobs. Naruto was unhappy. Third generation old man, if you don't agree, I'll let you taste the power of the harem technique. The expressions of third generation and Iruka changed and they immediately became alert. Just then, feathers landed all around. The 3 kids' eyelids suddenly felt heavy, and then they all fell asleep. I'm sorry, third generation Sama, I accidentally fell into Naruto's trick, so I had to do this to save my image. Kakashi jumped in from the window and said with an embarrassed look on his face. Third generation. Don't worry, Iruka and I will keep this matter a secret, and I will say hello to everyone else. Kakashi returned to the training ground with the 3 kids on his back. When the 3 of them wake up, he will tell them that everything that happened before was an illusion. In the Hokage office, Iruka also said goodbye and left, leaving only the third generation. Naruto and Sasuke would rather have Mizuki than Kakashi, he said with a dark look. It seems that he cannot be allowed to roam freely in the village. If this continues, a Jinchuriki, an orphan of Uchiha, will really be led astray by him. Plans must be implemented in advance. 30 million taels is not a small sum, and third generation believes that Mizuki will definitely not be able to resist it if given the opportunity. That afternoon, third generation announced that in order to celebrate the graduation of the new generation of ninjas, all staff at the Hokage building would have a day off tomorrow. It's also good for Mizuki to have a day off. Catch more fish tomorrow and take them to the orphanage to get acquainted with them first. As for little Sakura, let's get in touch tomorrow too. Mizuki felt a headache when he thought of little Sakura's disgusted look when Naruto called him master in the afternoon when Class 7 came to receive the mission. Little Sakura hates Naruto, Naruto calls Mizuki master, and little Sakura also hates Mizuki. Advertisement. This made it more difficult for him to recruit little Sakura as his disciple. Sasuke, a traitor, doesn't know how to call me master, otherwise things wouldn't be so troublesome. Tomorrow I must let little Sakura know that Sasuke is also my Mizuki's apprentice. When the time comes, let's see if you still don't want to be my teacher. The next day was a holiday, and Mizuki wanted to sleep in. But Anbu came to the door early in the morning. Chunin Mizuki, 3rd generation Sama is looking for you. You go directly to 3rd generation Sama's home. Mizuki was shocked. What the hell is this old immortal doing? He was wary, so he came to the 3rd generation's home and saw the 3rd generation in casual clothes. Mizuki, today is supposed to be a day off, but there is something that needs you to solve. In the neighboring village 30 miles to the north, Granny Yunbian asked Genin from the village to plant seedlings yesterday. But early this morning, Granny Yunbian asked someone to come and said that the planting was improper and all the seedlings were dead, and she demanded compensation from the village. This is a D-level mission, and the reward is 2,000 taels. If the news from Granny Yunbian is true, then not only will the 2,000 taels be returned, but an additional 2,000 taels and seedlings will have to be compensated. After saying that, 3rd generation took out a scroll. This is the seal scroll, which contains seedlings. Go to the office again, take 4,000 taels from the safe, and then immediately go to the neighboring village. If the loss of seedlings is indeed caused by improper planting, then compensation will be provided. After that, he was given a pass to leave the village. Mizuki thought to himself, good guy. It's a holiday for everyone in the Hokage building, it's a sealing scroll, and it's a passing order. This is a perfect way to lure me into defecting with money. If it was the original Mizuki, he would be 100% fooled. Okay Lord 3rd generation, I will go handle this matter immediately. There was a flash of greed in his eyes, which was caught by 3rd generation in time. 3rd generation was immediately overjoyed, he really couldn't help it. Looking at Mizuki's leaving figure, 3rd generation showed a sly smile. Take out the crystal ball and observe the whole process. Mizuki came to the Hokage building, entered the office, opened the safe, took out the money, and put it into the seal scroll. The safe was placed under the table, and Mizuki blocked it with his body, making it impossible for 3rd generation's condescending view to see how much money Mizuki had taken. But what is certain is that Mizuki's hand has been moving, and it definitely doesn't look like he is only taking 4,000 taels. Haha, young. 3rd generation is happy. As soon as Mizuki walked out of the village gate, 3rd generation immediately went to the Hokage building to summon the Jonin in the village. After a while, Kakashi, Sarutobi Asuma, Yuhi Kurenai and other Jonin arrived one after another. Someone reported that Mizuki had stolen a huge amount of money and has now defected from the village. Kakashi frowned and asked, that Chunin who was handing out D-class mission rewards downstairs. 3rd generation. Yes, that's him. He is in charge of the key to the safe, and today he was sent out of the village to perform a task. However, he stayed behind and stole the money in the safe, totaling 30 million taels, and took advantage of the opportunity to defect out of the village. All Jonin were silent. A part-time employee during the summer vacation is in charge of the keys to the safe, and there is 30 million taels in the safe. This is clearly a case of phishing and law enforcement. But no one dared to raise objections. If anyone wanted to blame him, he could only blame Mizuki for being greedy. The mission to hunt down the traitorous ninja Mizuki is now released. The mission requirements are to capture the traitorous ninja Mizuki. This mission is jointly carried out by Kakashi's Class 7 and Red's Class 8. Kakashi. 3rd generation Sama, I'm afraid it's not appropriate to take a few newly graduated genin with you on a mission to hunt down traitorous ninjas. 3rd generation. It doesn't matter, Mizuki is not strong, they will not be in danger. Okay, that's it for sure. Gather your men immediately and set out to capture Mizuki. If he resists, life or death will not matter. Chapter 11. The frame-up plan failed. What? How is this possible? Master Mizuki gave me such precious food, and even treated me to ramen. There is absolutely no way he would rebel. Team 7 gathered together, Kakashi explained the mission, and Naruto was the first to question it. Sasuke also said, I also think this is a mistake, he doesn't look like a money-grubbing person. If he was really greedy for money, why didn't he agree when he had previously offered to spend 1 million taels to buy his ninjutsu? Also, yesterday morning he gave me 100,000 taels as apprenticeship ceremony. He is obviously not short of money, how could he steal it? Kakashi. This is an order from the 3rd Hokage and we must carry it out. Whether he really stole money and defected, we will naturally understand it when we see him. Soon, classes 7 and 8 gathered at the entrance of the village and went out to pursue them. Hokage building, Mizuki's office, the doors and windows were closed, and suddenly a person fell from the ceiling, it was the 3rd generation. I saw him taking out a key with a calm expression. In order to convict Mizuki of theft, he had to make sure the safe was empty, so he had to open the box and take a look. If it's empty, then everything is okay. If it is full, then sorry, he will take all the money. So regardless of whether Mizuki takes away the money in the safe, the result will be empty. I declared to the outside world that I only have one key to the safe, just for now. But when he walked behind the desk and bent down to open the lock, he was stunned. There are actually 3 locks on the safe. Have you noticed my intention? It seems like he was pretending to be taking money just to show me. I reached out and shook the safe lightly. It didn't shake. It was obviously not light, which meant it was full. As expected, I didn't take it. but this does not affect third generation's determination. After all, you are still too young. Do you think 2 more locks will make it difficult for me? He grabbed 2 new locks with his hands, and wind-style chakra gushes out. With 2 click sounds, the 2 locks were destroyed from the inside and forced to open. Take out the key and prepare to open the 3rd old lock. But at this moment, a hissing sound came from under the safe. Detonating charm, third generation's complexion changed, and his figure retreated quickly. There was a loud boom, and the entire Hokage building trembled slightly. The desk was directly blown up, and the safe was also blown away, hitting the ceiling, then falling and hitting the floor. Because it is for money, the quality is very good. However, the lock was blown open, and a lot of money flew out and scattered on the floor. Third generation was furious, treacherous Mizuki. The explosion was very clear, footsteps sounded outside, and a large number of people ran this way. Third generation miscalculated. Mizuki unexpectedly set up a detonating talisman, which exploded at the critical moment and attracted attention. The framed plan failed completely. Looking at the money on the ground unwillingly, third generation disappeared with a bang. This is a shadow clone. Soon, multiple Anbu rushed in, followed by Asuma and several other Jonin. The third generation also came in a pretentious manner. Asuma and others glanced at third generation but said nothing. But anyone with a discerning eye knows that Mizuki's accusation of stealing money is no longer substantiated. As for the charge of defection, most likely it will be dismissed. It seems that the report I received is false and Mizuki was wrongly accused. At this point, third generation can only give up the frame-up plan. Advertisement: in the forest, a total of 8 people from Class 7 and Class 8 were stepping on the branches and jumping forward quickly. Hinata, you are responsible for detecting the target's location, Yuhi Kurenai shouted. But Hinata didn't answer. Hinata? Hinata said, came to her senses, and looked away from Naruto. Teacher Hong, I'm here. Yuri Hong, you use your Byakugan to see where the target is. Gino, use your parasitic bugs to explore the surroundings in case someone is secretly picking up the enemy and attacking us. Yes. Hinata and Shino responded. Countless little black bugs flew out from Shino's body and flew around, making Naruto and little Sakura get goosebumps. Hinata activates her Byakugan and looks north. Then he saw Mizuki sitting by a river, lighting a bonfire and grilling fish. Along with the fish, there was an iron teapot in which pine needle tea was brewing. Is this rebellion? Hinata was stunned. Anyone with any sense knows that rebellion shouldn't be like this. Hinata, what did you see? Kurenai asked. Hinata. Well, the target is grilling fish by the river and making tea. Kakashi and Yuhi Kurenai looked at each other. Red, so lax, it's either shadow clone, it's not a rebellion, or third generation is playing tricks on us. Kakashi. As far as I know, Mizuki is just an ordinary chunin. The ninjutsu he knows is only the basic free body technique, and he has not mastered shadow clone. Naruto immediately said, let me tell you, Master Mizuki will never rebel. How can a rebellious person take a leisurely stroll and eat grilled fish on the road of rebellion? Kakashi. Don't be careless, it could be a trap, we'd better be careful. As they approached Mizuki, they stopped. Hinata continued to observe with white eyes. Shino's bugs also spread out over a large area, exploring every corner. How about it? Shino shook his head and said, no suspicious targets were found. Hinata also said, within a radius of 3 kilometers, apart from us, only one person saw the target. Naruto immediately jumped out and shouted, nah, what am I talking about? There's no trap at all. Mr. Mizuki definitely did not rebel. The old man from third generation must have made a mistake. Kakashi discussed with Kurenai for a while, and then said, let's go over there. We'll find out when we get back to the village whether Mizuki has rebelled. But the two of them had already sentenced Mizuki to death. Next to the stream, Mizuki flipped the grilled fish over the fire to let it cook evenly. By the way, I put my nose up and took a few breaths. It smells so good, he couldn't help shouting. He was approached by third generation early in the morning. He hadn't even eaten breakfast. He wanted to grill a fish on the way, so he shouldn't be delayed. At this moment, his ears twitched and he turned around and said, who is hiding there? Come out. As soon as he finished speaking, Mizuki saw a familiar figure plant down from the tree. It was Naruto. Naruto, why are you here? Naruto stood up with a big bag on his head and said awkwardly, that. I was out on a mission, and I got separated from Mr. Kakashi and the others. Mizuki. I don't even know how to lie. Today is a holiday at the Hokage building and no one has issued a mission. What are you doing? Is that so, Kakashi-senpai, and Sasuke? Little Sakura? Wow, it seems you are not the only one in Class 7. There were strange bugs flying around just now. It must be Shino. Is Class 8 here too? Kakashi, who was hiding behind a tree, couldn't help but slap his forehead. Sasuke and little Sakura were both scolding. Idiot Naruto, you just exposed us. Advertisement: the 4 people in Class 8 were very shocked, especially Shino. Are the characteristics of my own parasites obvious? How can he confirm that it's me? A group of people walked out. Mizuki, you are suspected of theft and rebellion, and now we want to arrest you. Kakashi went straight to the point. This is indeed what Mizuki thinks. Fortunately, I had prepared in advance, otherwise I might have really ended up this time. Stealing? Betrayal? Who did you listen to? Why didn't I know? Mizuki pretended to be surprised. Naruto said, Master Mizuki, the old man from third generation must have made a mistake in this matter. Sasuke also said, there must be some misunderstanding. Kakashi waved his hand and said, regardless of whether it was a mistake or not, now, please come back to the village with us and accept the review. Mizuki. Okay, I'll go back with you. He showed no resistance at all. A group of 9 people quickly returned to Konoha and came to the Hokage building. Then in the Hokage office, third generation announced that this was a misunderstanding, that Mizuki did not steal or betray, and was innocent. Grandpa third generation, you are going too far, Naruto said loudly. You don't even have any evidence. You just relied on other people's reports and you unjustly accused Master Mizuki of stealing money and committing treason. I, Uzumaki Naruto, don't accept it. Third generation said, once there is news of ninja rebellion, the village will pay special attention to it. Regardless of whether there is evidence or not, bringing the person back first is what must be done. Now that the misunderstanding has been resolved, this matter is over. Naruto shouted, no, Master Mizuki was wrongly accused and suffered huge physical and mental losses. And this incident is entirely your fault, Grandpa third generation. You must compensate Master Mizuki for his losses. Third generation. He glanced at everyone present, whether it was Anbu or Jonin, they were silent. Even Kakashi didn't step up to stop Naruto. Everyone knows that this incident was directed and staged by the third generation. Without any evidence, the third generation ordered the arrest of Mizuki, and even said that they would not care about life or death. This method is extremely unfriendly to the ninjas in the village. Because no one knows whether this kind of thing will happen to them in the future. Third generation glanced at Mizuki and felt his teeth itch with hatred. Because of Mizuki, the prestige of his third Hokage suffered a huge blow today. He knew that he had to make a statement in public now, otherwise it would be difficult to lead the team. But as a Hokage, there are still means. Mizuki, what happened today is indeed unfair to you. It was also my mistake that led to you being wrongly accused. He took out a scroll from the drawer and said, this Earth-style, Earth Formation Wall Cultivation Scroll is your compensation. Thank you, Mr. Third Generation. Mizuki hurriedly took it. He lacks ninjutsu, so he accepts everyone who comes. Third generation nodded and changed the topic. Next, let's talk about the explosive charm at the bottom of the safe. Mizuki. Third generation Sama, I set up the detonator trap just out of worry. After all, there's a lot of money in the safe. Third generation said calmly. There is nothing to worry about in the Hokage building. Because of your worries, the desk was damaged and the floor and ceiling were damaged. These villages will not pay for you and need you to compensate. The preliminary estimate is that the total loss is 100,000 taels. You are limited to sending this compensation to my office within 1 week. In addition, in view of your weak safety awareness, starting from today, you no longer need to work as an assistant in the mission department. Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief after leaving the Hokage building. Today, I successfully passed this test again, but this feeling of walking a tightrope made him feel terrified. If you don't pay attention, you may fall into the abyss. We are not strong enough. We must recruit more disciples as soon as possible. Third generation is determined to get rid of me. Today he has lost face again, so he must want to get rid of me even more. You must have enough strength to protect yourself in a short period of time. Otherwise, I might fail before I can wait for the Chunin exam. Chapter 12. Coercion and Inducement of Ignorant Girls. Downstairs from Hokage, Kakashi announced, dismissed. Yeah, we can finally go have breakfast, Naruto cheered. I'm going to eat Ichiraku ramen, Sakura-chan, Sasuke, do you want to join me? Kakashi-sensei is treating me. Kakashi. When did I say I wanted a treat? Well, I have something else to do, so let's go first. Kakashi immediately disappeared, leaving only a few leaves blown by the wind, swaying in the air. Naruto curled his lips and said, oh, you are a stingy guy, even if you don't want to buy ramen. Just then, Mizuki's voice sounded from the side. Naruto, I haven't had breakfast either. If you want to eat ramen, I'll treat you. Really, master, you are so generous. I want to eat 3 bowls. Mizuki smiled and said, okay, 30 bowls are yours. Sakura-chan and Sasuke, are you together? Little Sakura said hurriedly. Sorry, I lost weight recently and skipped breakfast. She politely refused, but in her heart she said, Naruto called him master, he must have invented the seduction technique and taught it to Naruto. This kind of person is definitely not serious. If he treats guests, you must not go. Sasuke. I'm going, I just have something to ask you about cultivation. Little Sakura was startled and asked, Sasuke-kun, did you ask him, Mr. Mizuki, for advice on training? Sasuke said, yes, just like Naruto, I am also his disciple. Is it strange for a disciple to ask questions from his master? Little Sakura's eyes widened. You are also his disciple? Doesn't that mean that you also learned? What she learned was hard for her to talk about. Mizuki could tell that little Sakura seemed to have something against him. But it doesn't matter. Naruto and Sasuke are both coming, so Sakura-chan, you can come too. Eating breakfast will not affect your weight loss. Little Sakura just wants to be with Sasuke. If Sasuke goes, of course she also wants to go. So he immediately borrowed Po Sha's donkey and said, both of them are going, and of course I will go too. After all, we are classmates and we should advance and retreat together. But I won't eat ramen. I need to persist in losing weight. Mizuki waved his hand and said, okay, let's go. Hokage office. Third generation stood behind the window, looking a little gloomy as they watched Mizuki walk away with the 3 kitties from Team 7. He has noticed that I am dealing with him and is very careful not to miss any loopholes. As a Hokage, you must act within the rules. If he doesn't make mistakes, I can't do anything to him. It seems that ordinary means cannot deal with him. Third generation left the Hokage building and came to a sewer entrance. After entering, there were many twists and turns. In the darkness, his footsteps were particularly clear. Finally, he came to an underground space filled with water pipes. Here is where the root base is. Shimura Danzo has been waiting for a long time. Hiruzen, it's been a long time since you came to my place. Today is a rare day. Danzo said calmly, leaning on crutches. Third generation said without any nonsense. The assistant teacher of the ninja school, Shunin Mizuki, is suspected of killing his companions and has a tendency to rebel. Send someone to deal with it. Danzo glanced at third generation more and asked curiously. There are many people in the village who are suspected of being rebellious, but you have always been indecisive and will never act rashly without evidence. This time you come to me for this Mizuki, this is not your style. So, what's so special about this Mizuki? Third generation snorted, seemingly dissatisfied with Danzo's suspicion, but in the end he opened his mouth to explain. Mizuki got close to Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. I have taken action against him, but he has resolved them all. Danzo's eyes hardened, his voice became cold, and he said, Hiruzen, you are too indulgent. A person with rebellious tendencies is approaching Jinchuriki, why didn't you come to me earlier? Advertisement, don't you know the importance of Jinchuriki? This village is not yours alone. Third generation said with a deadpan expression, it's not too late. After saying that, he turned around and left. Danzo looked at the back of third generation and said, after Mizuki is dealt with, Jinchuriki and that brat from the Uchiha clan must be sent to the root. They may have been influenced by Mizuki and have seeds of disloyalty to Konoha planted in their hearts. Only I can train them into tools that are absolutely loyal to Konoha. Third generation paused, but did not look back. Danzo, it's not your turn to make the decision regarding Jinchuriki. And Sasuke, the village Ozidachi. The root training methods are never allowed to be used on them. Danzo shouted. Hiruzen, you must listen to me this time. Third generation continued to walk away without answering, which clearly meant that they did not agree. Danzo said angrily, Hiruzen, you will regret it. Third generation stamped its foot again, then turned around and said coldly, Danzo, you have to remember, I am the Hokage. As soon as the words fell, third generation drifted away and soon disappeared. After third generation walked away, Danzo's distorted face returned to calmness, and his eyes returned to indifference. He gently raised his crutch, and when he landed, a root ninja wearing a complex patterned mask appeared in front of him, kneeling on one knee in front of him. Ninja school assistant teacher, Shunin Mizuki, fetch his information. Yes, Lord Danzo. Ichiraku Ramen House, Mizuki brought 3 imps from class 7 into the house. Uncle Tachibana, I want 3 bowls of tonkatsu ramen, 3 big bowls. Naruto was not polite at all and started shouting as soon as he entered the room. Mizuki looked at Sasuke and little Sakura and asked, what do you two want? Just order it. Sasuke. I want a bowl of pork ribs noodles. Little Sakura was a little shy. I want to lose weight, so forget it. Mizuki waved his hand. You're here, just have a bowl. You don't have to spend money anyway. Besides, haven't you heard that if you don't eat breakfast, you will lose more weight? Ah, is there such a thing? Little Sakura exclaimed. Mizuki. Of course. This is my advice to you as an adult. Losing weight cannot be achieved without eating. You need to pay attention to methods. So, order one. Little Sakura's stomach growled at the right time, and she was not polite and ordered a bowl. Soon, the noodles were ready and all 4 of them started eating. Mizuki started asking about Sasuke's training. How are you practicing climbing trees and treading water? Sasuke. Tree climbing has been completed. It's just treading water. It can only be done on still water, not moving water. Naruto on the side came over and asked, what are you talking about, climbing trees and treading water? Master Mizuki, you taught Sasuke how to practice, but you didn't teach me. It's not fair. We are both your disciples. Mizuki smiled. It's a control method to improve Chakra's control. You don't need it. Naruto's eyes lit up and he said, Master Mizuki, is there anything else you can teach me? For example, ninjutsu, secret techniques, etc. Mizuki said, don't worry, I will teach you later. You have just graduated now, so you should adapt to the life of a ninja first. Each apprentice only has 3 opportunities to be rewarded each month, so he has to wait until next month to teach Naruto something. Mizuki himself doesn't have much to offer, so he has to be sparing. The 3 of them, the master and the apprentice, were chatting animatedly, and little Sakura beside them couldn't even get in the middle of the conversation. Finally, everyone was full and ready to leave. Sakura-chan, wait a minute. Mizuki only left Sakura alone. Little Sakura wanted to chase Sasuke, But Mizuki had just treated her to a bowl of noodles, and now she told him that if he walked away, it would be a bit disrespectful. Mizuki-sensei, is there anything else? Mizuki, do you like Sasuke very much? Advertisement. Little Sakura blushed and said calmly, Old teacher, why are you asking this? Mizuki said bluntly, give up, you are not suitable. Little Sakura's face turned pale. As a member of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke's potential is beyond your comparison. He will definitely stand at the pinnacle of the ninja world in the future, and you are just an ordinary civilian. The one who can stand with Sasuke in the future will either be a daimyo princess or a powerful and famous female ninja. Besides, he has a blood feud. If you follow him, you will only drag him down. Don't you feel it? There is only hatred in his heart, not you at all. The 3 words, without you, echoed in little Sakura's mind for a long time. Mizuki thought, sin, in his heart. These few words were indeed a huge blow to the girl Sakura. Little Sakura's face turned even paler. She bit her lip and said firmly, no, I will work hard, I will become stronger, and I promise not to hold him back. Mizuki shook his head. It's too difficult. You have no bloodline limits, no family secrets, and you don't even have a decent ninjutsu. No matter how hard you try, it won't help. His words completely shattered little Sakura's thoughts. Little Sakura turned her head and looked at Sasuke's retreating back, her eyes full of despair. At this moment, Mizuki changed the subject, but there are no methods. Little Sakura's desperate eyes suddenly lit up. She looked up at Mizuki and asked anxiously, Mizuki-sensei, what is the method? Mizuki smiled and said, it's very simple, become my teacher and I can make you stronger. The first reaction in little Sakura's mind is, you are just a chunin, a rubbish assistant teacher in the ninja school, not even as good as Mr. Iruka, can you make me stronger? What, don't you believe it? Do you think my strength is low and I am not qualified to be your master? Little Sakura remained silent, which was equivalent to acquiescence. Mizuki was not annoyed and said with a smile, you don't believe me, but you must believe Sasuke's vision. Of course, you don't have to believe Sasuke, but in that case, you and Sasuke really have no chance at all. Upon hearing this, little Sakura hurriedly said, no, I believe Sasuke-kun. But I don't know you at all, so it would be wrong to rush to become your disciple. Mizuki snorted coldly in his heart, this little girl doesn't fly like a hawk when she sees a rabbit. What are your chakra attributes? Little Sakura wondered, what is the chakra attribute? Mizuki explained, then took out a chakra test paper, tested. Little Sakura took the test strip and injected chakra into it. The next moment, the chakra test paper was wet and then shattered. Chakra with 2 attributes, earth and water, is just right. Mizuki took out the Doryubi scroll given to him by 3rd generation and said, become your master to me. This Doryubi training scroll is my apprenticeship gift to you. Little Sakura breathed heavily and stared at the scroll. Really want, but, still hesitant, it can be seen from today's events that the 3rd Hokage seems to have a problem with him. Will it be affected if I become his disciple? She was weighing. Mizuki didn't push her. For this reason, if little Sakura still didn't agree, then he wouldn't force it. With so many people in Konoha, it's not like we have to accept little Sakura. At this time, little Sakura was struggling in her heart. But soon, she glanced in the direction Sasuke left, and then her eyes became firm. Mizuki's coercion and inducement finally paid off. Master. Chapter 13. Thrilling, Assassination and Counter-Assassination. This, Master, was full of reluctance, but Mizuki doesn't care at all. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket, congratulations to host for recruiting Haruno Sakura as a disciple, close black lens bracket. Mizuki smiled and could finally continue to pluck out the system. But the system is not finished yet. Host successfully collects the 3 heroes from Team 7 and will be rewarded with a Kakashi ability drawing card. Using this card, you can randomly draw a Kakashi ability and master it directly. Close black lens bracket. There is a surprise. Kakashi's abilities are worth looking forward to. He was about to use the draw card, but when he looked up, he saw little Sakura looking at him eagerly. Ahem. Here you go. He handed the Doryu wall scroll to little Sakura's hand without feeling any distress. While eating noodles just now, he had already read the scroll and memorized all its contents. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket, host grants disciple Haruno Sakura B-level ninjutsu earth style. The Tuliu wall training scroll triggers a 100-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you have obtained the A-level ninjutsu earth style. Stone mirror wall training scroll. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket earth style. The stone mirror wall creates a tall, smooth and hard stone wall to resist the 3 escape ninjutsus of water, fire and wind. If you encounter a water style attack, the stone mirror wall can 100% resist and rebound it. Close black lens bracket. A 100-fold return is not satisfactory, but the returned earth style, the stone mirror wall, Mizuki thinks, is not bad. When the level is upgraded to level A, the earth wall turns into a stone wall, which is greatly increased in hardness and can defend against stronger ninjutsu. And because earth style restrains water style, when faced with water style ninjutsu, Shijinbi can not only achieve 100% defense, but also bounce back. This is the first ninjutsu with offensive capabilities that Mizuki has obtained so far. Little Sakura held the Doryubi scroll and said happily, "Thank you, master." Mizuki. "Well, take it back and practice hard. Learn it as soon as possible. If you don't understand anything, just ask me." Little Sakura left happily. This month, Little Sakura has 2 opportunities to give back. I have to think carefully about what to give. Before that, let's use Kakashi's ability to draw cards. I don't know what I can pull out. When he returned home, he immediately boiled medicine and soaked his feet. Ever since he left the Hokage building, he had been exercising the Yongshen points on the soles of his feet, and now the soles of his feet were tingling unbearably. After starting to soak his feet, he took out the Kakashi ability drawing card, with Kakashi's face drawn on the card. System, let's start. As soon as he finished speaking, the card in his hand turned into fluorescence, followed Mizuki's mouth and nose, and entered his body. Host uses Kakashi's ability to draw cards and obtains one of Kakashi's abilities, Sharingan Dynamic Vision. Close black lens bracket. Sharingan. Mizuki was overjoyed. Kakashi's left eye was the Mangekyo Sharingan, which contained the space pupil technique Kamui. Unexpectedly, it was drawn by him. He quickly lowered his head and looked at his left eye through the water in the foot bath. Although the water surface was moving, he could clearly see that his left eye had not changed at all. System. Where is my left eye Mangekyo Sharingan? Host heard clearly, it is Sharingan Dynamic Vision. The key word is Dynamic Vision, not Sharingan. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki rolled his eyes, leaned back, and mouthed, "TCH. Happy for nothing. No Sharingan, just Dynamic Vision. The difference is huge. Sharingan, with abilities such as replication, hypnosis, and observation. Advertisement Dynamic Vision is one of Sharingan's observation abilities. With the Sharingan, the Uchiha clan can observe high-speed moving objects. This ability gives them a great advantage in battle. Mizuki experienced it and found that his Dynamic Vision was indeed countless times stronger. Even on the flies flying in the air, he could clearly see the vibrations of their wings, as if in slow motion. What a pity. It would be great if it were Sharingan. After soaking my feet and resting for a while, the pain in the soles of my feet was completely relieved. Then he took his fishing gear and went out again. Catch some more fish today and send them to the orphanage to become familiar with them. He wanted to prepare for the subsequent recruitment of disciples. At the same time, inside the Hokage office, there is a crystal ball on the desk, and the 3rd generation uses the telescope technique, which keeps observing Mizuki. Go out from Mizuki, go all the way to the forest, and start fishing, with the 3rd generation watching. Soon, another person appeared on the screen. This person was seen quietly walking behind Mizuki, hiding in a tree, and using the bushes to cover up his figure. After confirming that it was Mizuki, 3 kunai appeared in this person's hands. A faint smile appeared on 3rd generation's lips. At this moment, there was a knock on the door, and 3rd generation hurriedly put away the crystal ball and said, "Come in." The door opened and Might Guy walked in, followed by Neji, Tianshan and Xiao Li. The 4 of them were tired and exhausted. "Sir 3rd generation, the escort mission of the 3rd shift has been completed. I am here to report." In the forest, the spring water is tinkling, the birds are singing and the flowers are fragrant. It is very peaceful. Mizuki doesn't like the excitement, so he chose fishing spots where no one was around. He sat quietly by the river and looked at the floats on the water. Suddenly, the float moved slightly, causing small ripples to spread outward in circles. Mizuki immediately became energetic and stretched out his hand, ready to lift the pole at any time. The float shook slightly a few more times, and then suddenly sank. Coming. Mizuki quickly held the pole and lifted it up, and a small fish of 2 or 2 was brought out of the water. At this moment, a sound broke through the air behind him. Mizuki didn't take it seriously and just glanced back. But just this look scared him so much that his adrenaline suddenly spiked. The enhanced dynamic vision allowed him to clearly see 3 kunai flashing with cold light, shooting towards him in a square shape. When he saw clearly, kunai was already 2 meters behind him. It's too late to dodge. The next moment, 3 kunai were clearly shot into the back of his neck, left back chest, and right back chest, and penetrated more than 3 inches. The knife is deadly. The corpse fell forward and fell to the ground. A figure landed on his feet, looked at the corpse on the ground, and said, "Kill Chunin Mizuki, mission accomplished." But at this moment, the corpse on the ground turned into a piece of wood with a bang. Body replacement technique? When did he form the seal? Could it be that he had noticed the sneak attack from behind and formed the seal in advance? Although he was surprised, the man didn't care. According to his information, Mizuki is just an ordinary Chunin and only knows the most basic free body technique. Another thing is that Mizuki came here to fish without any ninja tools. No offensive ninjutsu, no ninja tools, just a rubbish Chunin, unable to hurt him at all. So he stood there, not afraid of Mizuki's sneak attack. Advertisement at this time, Mizuki was hiding behind a tree, with cold sweat breaking out on his back. If he hadn't used the draw card to draw dynamic vision today, he would be dead now. This man is wearing a mask and is a member of Anbu. No, this mask has complex patterns and no animal features, it is just the roots. 3rd generation is so smart that it just plays assassination? He never expected that 3rd generation would stop playing and start killing them. My situation is getting worse and worse. Being in Konoha but being targeted by the Hokage is such a hard life. At this moment, Nemoto turned around and looked at the big tree where Mizuki was hiding, and said, "Come out, I found you." Mizuki walked out gracefully and did not run away. "Root Ninja, it seems Elder Danzo wants me dead. I never expected that a little chunin like me would be noticed by Elder Danzo. It's such an honor." "Do it?" Gen Ren asked doubtfully. "You won't resist?" Mizuki shrugged. "There's no point in resisting. You'll still die if you don't, so it's better to just do it." Although the Root Ninja was confused, he didn't talk nonsense. He threw out a kunai and aimed it at Mizuki's throat. Throughout the process, he was staring at Mizuki's hands. Once Mizuki formed the seal, he would immediately take a more violent attack. Looking at Mizuki again, he didn't move at all during the whole process, and seemed to be really waiting for death quietly. In the blink of an eye, the kunai was 1 meter in front of Mizuki, and no matter what he did, it was too late. Genin had made up his mind, but at this moment, he saw a smile on Mizuki's lips. Apparition. Gen Nin vaguely felt that something seemed to have happened, but before he could think about it, he felt a sharp pain in his throat. Lowering his head, he saw that the kunai he had shot was stuck in his throat. From the corner of his eye, he also saw that his position had been exchanged with Mizuki's. He couldn't figure out why the two people's positions were exchanged. He reached out and grabbed the kunai, trying to pull it out and continue attacking Mizuki, but he didn't have any strength left. Thump. The body fell to the ground, completely dead. Danzo really underestimated me. He only sent one person to kill me. Do you really think I'm a rubbish chunin? Looking at the bodies on the ground, Mizuki began to think about his options. Defection? Or, continue to deal with the third generation? His brain was racing. If he were to defect, given his current strength and no one to support him, the success rate would be extremely low. If you can't run far, you will be overtaken. When the time comes, it will be a dead end. Therefore, Mizuki chose to continue dealing with third generation. In the Hokage office, as soon as Guy led his men out, third generation immediately took out the crystal ball, activated the telescope technique, and looked directly at the stream in the forest. However, the expected scene of Mizuki being killed did not appear. Instead, the Root Ninja died. How is this going? Third generation's eyes widened, thinking that they had seen it wrong. How could Mizuki, an ordinary chunin, have the strength to kill a Root Nin? The Root Ninjas are carefully selected by Danzo and carefully taught and trained since childhood. Whether it is physical skills, illusion skills, or ninjutsu, they are much stronger than Mizuki. But what is the situation now? Forget it. Danzo is the one who feels bad for losing a Root Ninja. However, Mizuki killing the Root Ninja is a good time to convict him. He immediately shouted, "Come here, there is a murder in the forest east of the village. Follow me immediately to arrest the murderer." Chapter 14. The persevering third generation. In order to prove Mizuki's crime, third generation brought many people, including 4 people from Guy's class. Mizuki is lighting a fire and letting out smoke to attract the attention of the villagers. What happens next? The more people, the better. Soon, some villagers noticed the smoke and came here. When third generation came with a group of people, more than a dozen villagers had gathered here. He didn't run away, but instead burned smoke to attract villagers. What does this mean? Third generation was very confused. But no matter what, there is no doubt that Mizuki killed someone. Take down the murderer Mizuki. Third generation gave the order, and 2 Anbu teleported directly behind Mizuki and held his arms. Mizuki immediately shouted, "Third generation Sama, wait a minute, I didn't kill the person, he committed suicide out of fear of crime." Third generation snorted and said, "That's a bunch of nonsense. Mizuki, please allow me to explain the matter in detail." Third generation didn't give it a chance at all and said, "If there's anything to explain, just keep it." Mizuki said loudly, "Third generation Sama, I came here to fish and didn't bring any ninja tools with me. How can I kill him with kunai? Could it be that just because he is an Anbu ninja and has a noble status, third generation Sama will find a scapegoat at will?" As soon as this statement came out, the surrounding villagers immediately started talking and even pointing. Third generation's expression changed. "Okay, if you say you didn't kill him, I'll give you a chance to explain. Don't say you didn't bring a ninja tool. The kunai is not yours. What if you snatched it from him?" Mizuki sneered inwardly before explaining. "I was fishing here. Just when a fish was taking the bait, I suddenly heard something moving behind me. I didn't think much about it and just used the body replacement technique. When I looked back, there were already 3 kunai stuck in the wooden stakes used as my stand-in. Look, they're right there." Then this Anbu jumped down from the tree and said, "I can't even kill an ordinary chunin in a sneak attack. I'm such a waste, how can I see Orochimaru-sama again?" Then he inserted a kunai into his own throat and committed suicide. After speaking, he looked at third generation and said, "I have never touched these kunai. I don't believe you can detect fingerprints." Third generation didn't believe a word of Mizuki's words. He just wanted to convict Mizuki immediately and then execute him directly. But when the villagers looked at the wooden stake with 3 kunai stuck in it, they started talking louder. Third generation needs to maintain its image as a Hokage and cannot convict with just one word. There must be evidence. Therefore, he could only find a medical ninja and start detecting fingerprints. Soon, the results came out. Lord Hokage, all 4 kunai only have the fingerprints of the deceased. Mizuki's fingerprints, none. And there are no traces of later forgery. Mizuki, He has never touched kunai at all. As soon as these words came out, the villagers' eyes changed when they looked at Mizuki, and they no longer had the slightest suspicion. The corner of third generation's eye couldn't help but twitch. The evidence shows that this person really committed suicide, but this is obviously unreasonable. A ninja who commits suicide for no reason? Mizuki only knows 3 body technique, but no genjutsu at all. And even Sharingan can't do illusions that can make people commit suicide. He was completely confused and had no idea what was going on. Advertisement. He glanced at Might Guy standing aside, feeling very angry. If the third shift hadn't knocked on the door at the critical moment, he wouldn't have known what happened. At this time, Anbu also checked the surroundings several times, but could not find any evidence to prove that Mizuki committed murder. Instead, he found evidence that the root ninja was hiding in secret and attacked Mizuki. Third generation is even more speechless. Damn it, third generation yelled inwardly. After scolding Danzo for being stupid, the men he sent were so useless. Secondly, he accused Mizuki of being cunning, but it was impossible to convict him. It was really unreasonable. But now that the matter was over, there was no point in getting angry. He could only declare in public that Mizuki was not guilty. So helpless. It's over, let's all disperse. Everyone dispersed, and Mizuki did not dare to continue fishing. Third generation has even carried out assassinations, which shows how determined it is to kill itself. I will never go fishing in such a remote and uninhabited place again, or even go alone again. Recalling what happened today is really thrilling. I almost lost my life. Fortunately, there was only one genin. If there was one more, it might not be so easy for him to deal with it. If you want to kill people by disembodying, after all, there are too many limitations. If the enemy uses physical skills when they first come up, then even if he changes his body, he can only save his life, but cannot kill him. In addition, this technique consumes too much mana and cannot be used a few times. The hard power is still insufficient. Hokage building, third generation is a bit gloomy. Master Hokage, should the body be sent to the torture department and handed over to the Yamanaka clan to explore the memories of his life? Asked Anbu. Third generation said, well, send it over. And Anbu carried the body and prepared to go to the torture department. But at this moment, the office door opened, and Danzo walked in on crutches with a cold face. Put the body down, others go out, third generation and I have something to talk about. Several Anbu glanced at third generation, and upon seeing its signal, they all retreated, and the bodies were placed on the floor again. Danzo, what kind of trash did you send? You can't even deal with the Mizuki. Third generation asked directly. Danzo did not follow this trick and struck later. Hiruzen, you want to send the body to the torture department so that the Yamanaka clan can find out that I ordered them to assassinate Mizuki in order to ruin my reputation, don't you? You're afraid that my reputation will surpass yours and take away your position as Hokage, aren't you? The third generation didn't care when their thoughts were revealed to their face, and asked instead, why, the roots of Konoha, the darkness hidden in the sun, are you afraid of a bad reputation? You. Danzo was furious. I don't care about reputation, but you want to ruin my reputation so openly, do you have the forbearance? You're just scared, huh? I took the body away, and all my ninja roots were cursed. Even if you send it to the torture department, you will get nothing. Third generation. Only Yamanaka Haichi, the current leader of the Yamanaka clan, can explore the memory of the deceased. It would be too wasteful for you to take the body back and dispose of it. As Hokage, I order you to remove the curse seal on him and send him to the torture department. I need to know what he went through before his death. I want to know what other secrets Mizuki is hiding. Advertisement. Danzo snorted coldly. Removing the curse seal and letting Hai explore the memory, won't all the secrets of my roots be exposed? By then, the loyalty of the Yamanaka clan to you will be greatly reduced. The 3 tribes of Ino-Shika-cho advance and retreat together. If the Yamanaka tribe separates, the other 2 tribes will also be affected. Aren't you worried that without the support of Ino-Shika-cho, the Hokage's position will not be secure? This makes sense. Third generation frowned and weighed the pros and cons while smoking his pipe. Danzo added. Besides, he's just a chunin, and he's from a civilian background. How can he have any secrets? I will send people again. Then kill him and let Hai investigate. Then all his secrets will be known. Third generation put down his pipe, sighed, and said, okay, just do as you say. Danzo. Don't worry, that Mizuki, I won't let him survive more than 3 days. Third generation shook his head. No, the villagers are talking about what happened today. If Mizuki is killed within 3 days, it will cause a lot of turmoil in the village. And after today's assassination, he must be more vigilant, and it will be difficult to find another chance for him to be alone. In this way, after the villagers forget what happened today in a few days, I will arrange for him to leave the village. By then, if he dies outside the village, it will have no impact. Danzo has no objection. So, early the next morning, Mizuki was called to Hokage's office again. Mizuki, now that the ninja school is on vacation, you have nothing to do all day, and you even went fishing. As a ninja, this is not allowed. Mizuki said helplessly, but, I don't have anything else to do. Third generation. Okay, as a tool of the village, ninjas cannot be too idle. From today on, the village will assign you tasks. And the 100,000 taels of compensation you owe Chiankun village has not been paid off yet. You should perform more tasks to make money. Mizuki cursed in his heart, damn old guy, he is so persistent and never gives up. Yes, I will try my best. Third generation nodded. Well, go to the mission hall to pick up the mission. From this day on, Mizuki began to take on tasks. Third generation didn't do anything too obvious. The tasks assigned to Mizuki at the beginning were all D-level tasks, such as weeding, cutting down trees, and eradicating wild boars for the villagers. They are all simple tasks that do not require leaving the village. What was abominable was that the mission reward could not reach him at all, so the third generation withheld it and used it as compensation for the 100,000 taels. Mizuki works for the village for nothing. It didn't matter, because Mizuki knew that the real storm was yet to come. Soon, half a month passed, and third generation began to take action. Mizuki received a new mission, which was completely different from the previous mission. Sea-level mission, go to the eastern border and eliminate the bandits in the mountains. The executor is Mizuki alone. The bandits on that mountain are all ordinary people. There are no ninjas. If you just be careful, there is no problem at all. The mission reward is 80,000 taels. We will set off early tomorrow morning and return to the village after finishing as soon as possible. Mizuki accepted the task with a sense of urgency in his heart. It was obvious that this mission was a trap to get him out of the village and die. Walking out of the mission hall, I happened to meet Team 7 coming to hand in the mission. Kakashi-senpai, and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura-chan. I haven't seen you for a few days, you look good. Naruto pouted and said, Master Mizuki, it's not good at all. Every day there are boring tasks like weeding, catching cats, and taking care of children. I'm tired of it. Mizuki smiled and said, I will leave the village on a mission tomorrow, and it will be a while before I come back. I'm treating you tonight, Ichiraku Ramen, do you want to come? Chapter 15. Return multiples and apprentices qualifications. Kakashi narrowed one eye, with something intriguing hidden in his eyes. Third generation has targeted Mizuki not once or twice. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that third generation wants to get rid of Mizuki, so how could Kakashi not know this? Moreover, Mizuki asked for ramen, which obviously did not include him. I have something to do tonight, so I won't bother you. He decisively refused, but did not stop the three younger ones. Naruto cheered. I'll go. There will be free ramen to eat. Master Mizuki is so generous. Sasuke and little Sakura also agreed. Well, let's meet at Ichiraku Ramen at 7 o'clock in the evening. Mizuki knew clearly that third generation arranged for him to leave the village just to kill himself. This time, Danzo will send at least 2 people, which fills Mizuki with a sense of crisis. The apparition has probably been exposed, but that's not the key. The key is that chakra consumes too much. As long as I have enough chakra, I'm not afraid of how many people come, and I can even kill them all. This is why Mizuki invited Team 7 to eat ramen. Little Sakura still has 2 opportunities to give back. He plans to give away a bowl of ramen to increase the total amount of chakra. If 1 bowl isn't enough, get 2. As for whether little Sakura can eat 2 bowls, it's none of Mizuki's business. He just needs to give it away. Anyway, if he gives it away, he will get it back. But that's not enough. Leaving the Hokage building, Mizuki went straight to the orphanage. In the past half-month, he would go to the orphanage for a walk, deliver some food, and donate some money. I became familiar with the director of the orphanage and the children. It may be a bit hasty to let those children become teachers now, but we can't wait any longer. I'm afraid I won't have a chance in the future. Third generation is determined to kill me. If I continue to stay in the village, the danger will only increase. Why don't you take advantage of this opportunity to defect? The ninja world is so big that there is always room for me. Relying on the system, I will rise quickly. When the time comes, I can destroy Konoha with just a wave of my hand. We can no longer stay in this poor village and must defect. No matter how good-tempered he is, he can't stand this kind of greediness. I have to gather a lot of wool before I leave. Konoha Orphanage is located on the edge of the village, very remote. The house in the orphanage is in disrepair, dilapidated and old. Mizuki was still far away from the orphanage when he was spotted by children playing at the door. Look, it's Uncle Mizuki here. Uncle Mizuki, Uncle Mizuki. The children all crowded over, very enthusiastic, with cheerful smiles on their faces. Mizuki smiled, picked up the things in his hands, and shouted. I brought you meatballs today, 3 skewers each. Xiaoyi, come and share them with everyone. Oh, there are meatballs to eat. Uncle Mizuki is great. The children cheered. The director of the orphanage and several uncles and aunties who took care of the children came out. Mizuki, you are spending money recklessly again. In the past half-month, the children have been sucked into your mouth. It is not easy for you to make money. Don't do this in the future, the dean complained. Mizuki smiled and said, Dean, I'm just doing my best. Besides, it doesn't cost much. Dean, I have something to discuss with you this time. Seeing Mizuki's serious face, the dean knew it was not a trivial matter, so he said, just tell me. Advertisement Mizuki said bluntly. I want to accept them as disciples and teach them the chakra refining method and the basic free body technique. Orphans are easily bullied. If they master ninjutsu, they can somewhat protect themselves. The dean shook his head and said, it's useless. The village chief sent someone to check their bodies a long time ago, and all the talented ones were sent to the ninja school. They stay here because their talents are extremely poor. Even if they were allowed to train, they wouldn't be able to become ninjas, even the weakest genin. Mizuki smiled and said, I don't hope they can become ninjas, I just hope they have some ability to protect themselves. At least, they won't be bullied by ordinary people. Seeing Mizuki's persistence, the dean shook his head and said, it's up to you. Mizuki smiled. As long as the dean doesn't object, things will be easy to handle. Soon, he gathered the children together. There are 24 in total, and if they are all accepted as apprentices, he will immediately have 72 opportunities to be rewarded. Children, today I will teach you the chakra refining method. After you learn it, you can refine chakra. If you practice hard, you may become a ninja in the future. Do you want to learn? All the children said in unison. Yes? They looked at Mizuki with longing in their eyes. At this moment, their thoughts are simple. That is, become a ninja and not be bullied in the future. As orphans, their life experiences are full of tragedy. Without a father or mother, he was bullied by the children in the village, but he was unable to resist. But they knew that as long as he became a ninja, he would never be bullied again. Mizuki said, Okay, everyone please call me master. The 24 children stood in front of Mizuki one by one and respectfully called, Master. After a while, Mizuki had 24 more apprentices. Next, I will teach you how to refine chakra. You all sit down, listen quietly, and remember the method in your mind. Chakra extraction method is not difficult. Under Mizuki's explanation, the children quickly memorized the method. Of course, you just know the method, it is not that easy to extract chakra. The first time you refine it, it will take 3 to 5 days for those with good qualifications to succeed, and it may take half a month for those with poor qualifications. If you don't have ninja talent, you won't be able to refine chakra in your lifetime. Mizuki does not expect them to succeed, he is only responsible for teaching, and the purpose is only to return the system. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket the system voice sounded. Host grants apprentice Xiaoyi the ordinary chakra refining method, which triggers is 0.1 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the super rubbish chakra extraction method, close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Sanfu the ordinary chakra refining method, triggering is 0.1 times return, close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the super rubbish chakra extraction method, close black lens bracket. Mizuki. What the hell is this? 0.1 times return? System, what are you doing? Why are the return multiples so low? Host grants apprentice judging the ordinary chakra extraction method, triggering is 0.1 times return, close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the ordinary chakra extraction method, close black lens bracket. Answer. Mizuki's answer is still 0.1 times the refund prompt. Mizuki was stunned. All he can think about now is, can he plunder the system like this? At this moment, a distinctive broadcast shocked him. Host grants disciple Nobita the ordinary chakra refining method, triggering a 100-fold return, close black lens bracket. Advertisement, congratulations, you have obtained the advanced chakra refining method, close black lens bracket. Advanced chakra refining method, chakra refining speed is 100 times faster than ordinary chakra refining method, close black lens bracket. Soon, the 24 returns were reported. Except for Nobita, the other 23 children were all returned 0.1 times. Mizuki was completely frustrated. What exactly is going on? The system explained. The higher the qualifications of the apprentice, the higher the return multiplier will be, and vice versa. Close black lens bracket. Of these 24 children, except for Nobita who has some talents, the other 23 are all people without any ninja talents, so the return multiplier is naturally very low. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was stunned. Is there such a thing? Damn. He realized immediately that his decision to defect seemed hasty. Where are the people with good ninja talent? It has to be the major ninja villages. After leaving the village, trying to find someone with good talent may be as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. It's troublesome. We can't blame the system for not explaining this clearly. The main reason is that the few apprentices we accepted earlier, including Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura, have very good talents and the return multiplier is also high. Mizuki mistakenly believed that the return multiple had nothing to do with talent. Fortunately, there is another person with slightly better qualifications who did not completely disappoint my expectations. Advanced chakra refining method, 100 times the speed of chakra refining. It can be said that it is quite nice. Immediately afterwards, he took out 24 shurikens. This is a gift for you. You can usually use it for training, but remember, never throw it at your partners. Each person received one, and then the system's return announcement started again. Sure enough, they were all returned 0.1 times, and each person was given a wooden shuriken. Except Nobita. Host grants apprentice Nobita a shuriken, triggering a 300x return, close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained a shuriken controlled by your mind. Controlled with thoughts, it can fly, turn, accelerate, and attack at will. Close black lens bracket. Note. A drop of blood is required to identify the owner. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki's eyes lit up. What a good thing. Mind control, similar to Orochimaru's pheasant sword. With this thing in hand, you don't have to aim when you throw it. With one last chance to return the favor, Mizuki took out a stack of detonating charms. The director of the orphanage who was standing not far away and observing. Mizuki, what are you going to do? The dean shouted. Mizuki. Don't worry, Dean. This is a gift from me. I don't mean to hurt them. The dean's eyes twitched. Hey guys, I'm giving a group of children detonating talismans. Do you think their lives are too painful, and you want to send them to the Pure Land in advance? No, this is too dangerous and I don't agree with it. Mizuki smiled and said, don't worry, although it is given to them, these detonating charms will be given to the dean for safekeeping in the future, and will be handed over to them after they become ninjas. Then, this scene appeared. Mizuki handed each child a detonating charm. After the children took it, they turned around and handed it to the dean. The system's return broadcast started again. Still a familiar recipe, still a familiar taste. Except for Dashang, the other 23 are still refunded 0.1 times. Host grants the apprentice Nobita a detonating talisman, which triggers a 500-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained a detonating bomber. The bomber's explosive power is equivalent to 500 detonating symbols, and its flying speed is supersonic. Once a target is selected, it will fight to the death. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 16. A new way to change your body after leaving the orphanage, not far away, and Anbu blocked the way. Chunin Mizuki, come with me, Master Third Generation wants to see you. After saying that, he turned around and walked towards the dense forest on the side. Mizuki looked stunned. We didn't meet at the Hokage Tower, but we met in the woods. Could it be that the Third Generation wanted to kill me personally? But this is not in line with the Third Generation's style of doing things. How could an old conspirator like the Third Generation, who cherishes feathers so much and is so indecisive, kill the ninjas in the village without getting any definite evidence? He doesn't want fame anymore. Aren't you afraid that your position as Hokage will be unstable? We will act according to the opportunity. If the Third Generation really takes action against me, then don't blame me for using explosive bombers. The power of 500 detonating charms, even if the explosion cannot kill the Third Generation, can still create an opportunity for Mizuki to escape. He followed Anbu in front and soon walked deep into the forest. Mizuki sees 6 directions, listens in all directions, and is alert. Suddenly, Anbu in front took action. A kunai appeared in his hand at an unknown moment, and he turned around and slashed towards the side of Mizuki's face. His attack speed is as fast as the wind. When he saw him turn around, the attack was already in front of him. Mizuki had been on guard for a long time. He suddenly exerted force on his feet and took half a step back at the critical moment. Then he clearly saw the tip of the kunai passing in front of his eyes, only half a finger away from his eyes. If he were a little slower, he would be blinded and sit there waiting to die. You wanna die? Mizuki's eyes were cold, and he was really here to kill him. He took out 3 detonating charms and activated them directly. A hissing sound sounded, and the detonating talisman was about to explode. Upon seeing this, the opponent immediately retreated, not wanting to be affected by the detonating talisman. Mizuki sneered, loosened his hand, and the detonating talisman fell. The next moment, he started to change his form. His and Anbu's positions were instantly switched. Then there was a boom, and the 3 detonating symbols exploded at once. The Anbu had no time to react before he was blown up beyond recognition. The apparition technique can also be used to actively attack. The effect is surprisingly good. Transformation combined with the detonating talisman is a tactic worth using. Mizuki smiled. But when he looked at the corpse on the ground, he frowned. No blood. Death Soul technique again? Mizuki narrowed his eyes, a little annoyed. He had no enmity with Yakushi Kabuto, so why did he want to kill him? Papa. There was a sound of clapping in the dense forest nearby, and then, another masked Anbu came out. Who are you? Why do you want to kill me? Mizuki asked. It doesn't matter who I am, you just need to know that I am one of the Sannin, a subordinate of Lord Orochimaru. As for attacking you, I just want to prove your worth and see if you are worthy of becoming Orochimaru-sama's subordinate. Since you survived and demonstrated the extremely practical position-changing ninjutsu, it shows that you are valuable enough to be used by Orochimaru-sama. Mizuki didn't speak, just stared at the other person coldly. He didn't make a move, because from the other person's figure and voice, Mizuki judged that the other person was not Yakushi Kabuto. It should be another corpse controlled by Yakushi Kabuto. Even if he kills it by repeating the same trick, it will be a waste of chakra. Advertisement. He was paying attention to the surroundings, looking for the true identity of Yakushi Kabuto. Third Generation wants to kill you quickly, and you know very well that this time he sends you out of the village on a mission to kill you. There is no place for you in Konoha. The only way before you is defection. And Lord Orochimaru, who likes a talent like you, will accept you without reservation. Lord Orochimaru will give you everything you want, even eternal life. As long as you promise to be loyal to Lord Orochimaru, then there will be someone to support you when you defect, to stop Konoha's pursuers and make your defection successful. What do you think of this proposal, Mizuki? It sounds quite tempting, but I like to bask in the sun and don't like to stay in dark and humid underground caves all day long. Well, I found you. The next moment, the 3 detonating symbols were ignited at the same time, and Mizuki's eyes looked towards a tree 70 meters away. On the tree, Yakushi Kabuto, who was hiding in the bushes, changed his expression and raised his hand to form a seal. He's going to use the body replacement technique. But how could Mizuki let him get his wish? Before Yakushi Kabuto could even complete a single seal, he had already been transformed and switched places with Mizuki. Mizuki reached the safety of the trees, and Yakushi Kabuto faced 3 detonating symbols that were about to explode. Hateful. What kind of underworld ninjutsu is this? It can be effective even from such a distance. And there was no warning when it was activated. I didn't even react, and I had already changed places with him. Kabuto's face, shrouded in a cloak, looked very ugly. It's too late to follow the body. It seems that this is the only way to do it. Ninja method. Yin heals injuries and destroys them. Along with the activation of the ninjutsu, the detonating talisman also exploded. The bright light was accompanied by a violent explosion, and Yakushi Kabuto's body was blown away like tatters. HMPH, you little b****ch, if you dare to mess with me, you will be seriously injured or even die. Mizuki sneered. But the next moment, he saw Yakushi Kabuto, who had been blown away, stood up immediately after landing, and then quickly ran deep into the forest, disappearing after a few leaps. It's like he wasn't hurt. Even Mizuki couldn't see the other person's face clearly. He's not dead, what a pity. Yakushi Kabuto masters the medical ninjutsu second only to Tsunade, and also has his own A-level ninjutsu Yinhejujutsu, which can heal before injury and has high-intensity recovery capabilities. When the Sannin reunited, they were all hit in the abdomen by Naruto's Rasengan, but they were not injured anywhere. They relied on Yin to heal their injuries. It's not surprising that Orochimaru's men are very capable of saving their lives. It's a pity that the distance is too far. I don't have enough chakra to use disapparation again. Otherwise, if I try it again, I will definitely kill him. Fighting off Yakushi Kabuto, Mizuki immediately escaped. The 2 detonating symbols exploded here, making a lot of noise. Soon after Mizuki left, a nearby ninja arrived first, followed closely by Anbu. Only the bodies of 2 Anbu were left at the scene. After investigation, it was found that the 2 had been dead for a long time and were controlled by the dead soul technique after their death. After 3rd generation heard the news, they didn't think much of Mizuki. He stood in front of the window with a pipe in his mouth, looking at the bustling Konoha streets below, his brows furrowed deeply. Orochimaru, what exactly do you want to do? At this time, Mizuki has returned home. The sun has set and the sky is darkening. He didn't turn on the lights and even closed the curtains. Suddenly the room was dark. Then he opened the closet and looked at 3 black leather boxes filled with money. I leave the village this time, and I don't know when I will come back. It's not safe to keep this money at home. If the 3rd generation discovers it, they will definitely take the opportunity to launch an attack. At that time, both people and money will be gone. Because he couldn't explain the origin of the money. Advertisement: a chunin whose salary is only enough for food and clothing has a huge sum of money hidden in his family, which is obviously a problem. If 3rd generation lists charges of treason and treason, the villagers will definitely believe it. Then 3rd generation can kill Mizuki in a grand manner. You must take this money with you. Of course, it was unrealistic to go out carrying 3 large boxes. He needed a sealing scroll. I took some money and went out, heading straight to the ninja shop. As soon as I walked in, I saw Tianshin lying on the counter and dozing off. Mizuki stepped forward and shook the bell in front of the counter. Jingle bell. Tenten woke up immediately and said with sleepy eyes, "Sorry, I accidentally fell asleep. What do you want to buy, Mizuki-senpai?" She didn't recognize Mizuki at first, but after meeting Mizuki with Might Guy that day, she got to know him. "I want the sealing scroll," Tianshin introduced. The sealing scroll has different prices depending on its capacity. The one with a capacity of 1 liter costs 10,000 taels. The one with a capacity of 8 liters costs 100,000 taels. The one with a capacity of 27 liters costs 1 million taels. The price of 64 liters is 10 million taels. The object sealing scroll is to inscribe the time-space sealing technique on the scroll to create a small space in which objects can be stored. For example, Tianshin's sealing scroll contains everything, including ninja tools and food and drink. Therefore, when the 3rd shift goes out to perform tasks, there is never a shortage of food and drink. Mizuki's mouth twitched. It's so expensive. The main thing is that the total volume of the 3 boxes at home is definitely more than 27 liters. If you want to carry all the money away, you will need a sealing scroll with a capacity of at least 64 liters. But for 64 liters, it costs 10 million taels. He didn't bring that much money, and he didn't dare to bring that much money. If he really dared to spend 10 million taels to buy the seal scroll, 3rd generation would dare to bring someone here within 3 minutes and search out all the money at home. The source of the large amount of wealth is unknown. The 3rd generation will announce to the villagers that Mizuki has collaborated with the enemy and betrayed the country and made a profit of 100 million taels. Capital offense. I bought 1 liter. I would like 3 liters. There is no way. You can't buy expensive ones, you can only buy cheap ones. Just use it as small as the capacity is, and you will see little Sakura in a while. If you take out 30,000 taels, 3rd generation will not doubt it. It was almost 7 o'clock, and Mizuki had already come to bring Ichiraku in front of him. Unexpectedly, Naruto had already arrived. "Master Mizuki, let's go in first, I'm starving," Naruto urged. Mizuki smiled and said, "What's the hurry? Wait until Sasuke and little Sakura are together. Look, they're here. The four of them gathered together, and Mizuki immediately took out 3 seal scrolls. Now, this is for you, one for each of you. The capacity is 1 liter. Although it can't hold too many things, it's okay. Although Naruto was usually careless, he had gained a lot of experience recently and knew how valuable this kind of scroll was, so he didn't answer it immediately. Sasuke didn't say anything. He had no shortage of this kind of scroll. It didn't matter if he wanted it or not, it mainly depends on Naruto and little Sakura. Little Sakura said directly, "Master, this is too valuable, I can't have it." Mizuki. "The money is all spent. If you don't want it, you can't get it back. Just take it. I still have this little money." The 3 of them could only accept it. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Haruno Sakura a 1 liter sealed scroll, triggering a 1,000-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have received a storage ring with a capacity of 1 cubic meter. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 17. Play however you want. What a good thing, Mizuki was overjoyed. Wearing the ring on your hand is extremely convenient whether you are putting things in or taking things out. Unlike the sealed scroll, the scroll must be unfolded first before use. And with a capacity of 1 cubic meter, it can hold a lot of things. These 30,000 taels were not wasted at last. Amid laughter, the 4 of them walked into Ichiraku ramen shop. The old rule is, 3 large bowls of ramen for Naruto, 1 bowl each for Sasuke and little Sakura. Please work harder, Mizuki prayed in his heart. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host grants apprentice Haruno Sakura a bowl of miso barbecued pork ramen, triggering a 10,000-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations, you got a bowl of Miso Charshu Super Chakra Noodles. Close black lens bracket. Miso Charshu Super Chakra Noodles, after eating, increase the upper limit of Kakashi Chakra by 10. Close black lens bracket. Return 10,000 times? 10 Kakashi Chakra? Mizuki's eyes widened, his mouth couldn't help opening, and he laughed. Gee. Very good. The 3 brats all turned to look at Mizuki, their eyes full of inquiry. Haha, I remembered something happy. At this time, Tahita said. Mizuki-sensei is smiling so happily. It seems that he is really happy. In this case, I will give you a bowl of ramen for free. I hope you will be happier. Mizuki. Thank you boss, I'm welcome. Soon, the handmade ramen arrived, and even though Mizuki was 9/10 full, he still ate it and stuffed it down. Naruto offered to help several times, but Mizuki refused. This is 10 Kakashi Chakra. Not to mention a bowl of noodles, even a bowl of shit, he would eat it all while it was hot and never leave half a mouthful for Naruto. In the end, all the bowl of noodles was eaten, not even a drop of soup was left. My stomach is about to burst, but I have gained a lot. The total amount of chakra reaches 11.3 calories, which is 11.3 times that of Kakashi. You know, not counting the 9 tails chakra, Naruto's own chakra is only 4 times that of Kakashi. The system is really awesome. After finishing the ramen, Mizuki said goodbye to the 3 brats and went home with a full belly. When he arrived at the door of his house, he found that the door was open and the lights were on. Mizuki's expression suddenly changed. Just then, a voice came from the kitchen. Mizuki-kun, are you back? Immediately afterwards, Tsubaki wearing an apron came out of the kitchen. Mizuki immediately breathed a sigh of relief. He was frightened and thought it was third generation who sent someone to search. Chun, why are you here? Chun immediately pouted and complained. You haven't come to see me for more than half a month. I know that you have been busy performing tasks every day recently, so I don't blame you. But I have to leave the village on a mission tomorrow, and you didn't even tell me. Are you not planning to have me as your fiancé? As he said this, Tsubaki burst into tears. She is just a wrong little daughter-in-law. Mizuki panicked. I have never experienced this kind of battle, what should I do? Advertisement, you. Don't cry. Chun raised his head, staring into Mizuki's eyes with tears, and asked slowly. Will you come back after you leave tomorrow? Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief and said, Of course I will come back. I am no longer the Mizuki I was before, and I will not do stupid things again. Chun. I heard that third generation was targeting you some time ago, you. Mizuki. Don't worry, I didn't do anything to regret the village. Third generation won't do anything to me, and that was half a month ago. From Mizuki's words, Chun didn't feel deceived, so she finally felt relieved. It's half a month until our wedding. Can you come back? If you can't come back, then we have to postpone it. Mizuki immediately said, Push it back. This mission is located at the border of the country of fire. The time to get there and back is close to half a month. Add in the time to carry out the mission, half a month will definitely not be enough. Chun pouted and said, Third Hokage is the same, knowing that our wedding is approaching, yet he still arranges such a time-consuming task for you. Mizuki was happy and even thanked third generation for finally doing something good. Marriage is not allowed. As the saying goes, getting long day and night makes it easier to expose one's identity. Tsubaki didn't ask any more questions, which made Mizuki feel like he was being pardoned. I made a few side dishes and prepared some sake. Let's have a drink together to say goodbye to you. Mizuki's stomach was so full, but seeing Chun's expectant eyes, he agreed. Have some wine, it won't fill your stomach. On the table, Chun poured 2 glasses of wine, one for each person. You haven't left the village on a mission for a long time. After drinking this cup, I hope you can return to the village safe and sound. After drinking one cup after another, Mizuki felt dizzy after only 3 cups and then fell unconscious. Tsubaki looked at Mizuki lying on the table with sadness in his eyes. You have changed so much recently that I can barely see Mizuki's shadow on you. I just hope that my guess is wrong. He helped Mizuki to the bed and began to examine it from beginning to end. After checking it 3 times, Tsubaki discovered that the person in front of him was Mizuki, the real Mizuki. Tsubaki smiled. I'm too worried, but soon, she became worried again. Since it's Mizuki, why has he been so distant from me during this period? Even when I asked him to postpone the wedding, he agreed without even thinking about it. It was he who begged to marry me in the first place. Is he tired of me already? Just when she was worrying about gains and losses, there was a knock on the door. Mizuki, are you home? I'm Iruka. Tsubaki walked out of the bedroom and opened the door, only to see Iruka standing outside. Chun, you're here too. It seems I came at the wrong time. Iruka touched his hair and said awkwardly. Chun said politely. Iruka, Mizuki had a few too many drinks at night and fell asleep. Do you want anything from him? Iruka. He will leave the village on a mission tomorrow. I have something to say to him, but since he is asleep, I won't disturb him. Chun said. I am his fiancé. If you have anything to say, just say it to me. I will convey it to him tomorrow morning. Iruka was silent for a moment, then sighed. Tell Mizuki to be careful when going out this time. Chun's expression changed and he said, Iruka, do you know something? Iruka shook his head, said no more, turned and left. After closing the door, Chun frowned deeply. Iruka said to be careful, but a SSS-level mission of wiping out bandits is not difficult for Chunin. What should we be careful about? Advertisement. Suddenly, she thought of something. Could it be that 3rd generation is still targeting Mizuki and sending him out of the village too? Chun didn't dare to think any further. She looked at Mizuki on the bed with worry in her eyes. Suddenly, she realized something. He distanced himself from me. Could it be that he was afraid that the 3rd generation would target me as well? It's like this, it must be like this. He loves me so much and wanted to be with me all day long before. How could he suddenly ignore me? She cursed in her heart. Damn 3rd generation, ruin the relationship between me and Mizuki-kun, you should die soon. It was late, Konoha became quiet, and the lights in Mizuki's house were turned off. Drowsily, Mizuki felt something pressing on him. It was soft, comfortable, and wonderful. When Mizuki woke up early the next morning, he realized something was wrong. All the clothes were taken off, the sheets were in a mess, and the quilt still smelled like hormones. What happened last night? He tried his best to remember, but couldn't remember anything except that he was drunk. At this moment, the bedroom door opened and Chun walked in. Mizuki-kun, you're awake. Mizuki stared at Chun and asked, did you spike your wine last night? In my memory, Mizuki's drinking capacity was beyond the point where he could get drunk with just 3 glasses of sake. HMPH, Chun seemed to be even more dissatisfied than Mizuki. I am your fiancé. You haven't seen me for more than half a month, and you still don't allow me to get you drunk and forcefully have S**X with you. But last night, although you were not conscious, you were more violent than usual. Listen, what kind of talk is this? Mizuki blushed. Before time travel, he had been a bachelor for more than 20 years and a virgin for more than 20 years. After traveling through time, he actually lost it in a drunken dream? No, how could you do this? As a man, don't I have any dignity? Mizuki exploded. This is my first time, how could you be so careless? Chun, with a smile on his face, said, I don't care, you are my husband, but the wedding has not been held. Since you are my husband, your body belongs to me, and I can play with it as I want. You. Mizuki was completely speechless. Who told you not to touch me for more than half a month? It's all your fault anyway. Okay, breakfast is ready. Get up quickly. After saying this, Chun walked out of the bedroom and closed the door, not giving Mizuki a chance to continue talking. Soon, at the dinner table, Mizuki lowered his head and looked unhappy. Can this mission be cancelled? Chun suddenly asked, his eyes full of worry. Mizuki shook his head and said nothing. Chun hurriedly took out a wad of money and said, I saved this money. You can use it to buy more ninja tools. Somehow, Mizuki felt a little moved. Don't worry, I'm not in danger, you don't have to worry. Mizuki regretted saying this, because this sentence is very much like what a husband would say to his wife. After the meal, Mizuki took advantage of Chun working in the kitchen, entered the bedroom, and put the 3 boxes of money into the storage ring. After making some preparations, he was about to set off. He opened the door and was about to step out when Chun hugged his waist from behind. Mizuki stiffened and tried to break free, but in the end he didn't move. Come back alive, I will be waiting for you in the village. Chapter 18. Scary sleep talk. Mizuki said, I'm leaving. Then he stepped out. At this moment, Tsubaki suddenly said, Damn Sarutobi Hiruzen, I will kill you sooner or later. Mizuki froze on the spot and turned around with shock on his face. You came from time travel too? Don't blame him for asking, because Chun's words were spoken in Chinese. Although it sounds a bit lame, Mizuki will never misunderstand it. It is Chinese and standard Mandarin. This is the ninja world. Without China, how could there be Chinese? Therefore, Mizuki subconsciously believed that Tsubaki also came through time. At this moment, he felt extremely excited, fellow. But Chun looked puzzled and asked, Mizuki-kun, do you know the meaning of that sleep talk just now? Sleep talk? What sleep talk? Mizuki realized something was wrong. Chun. That's the strange sentence I just said. It was what you said in your dream last night. You said it dozens of times last night, and I have memorized it. I just remembered it, so I repeated it to you. Mizuki. Happy for nothing. I thought Chun was also a time traveler, but I didn't expect that it was actually caused by talking in his sleep. He responded quickly and said, oh, the meaning of that dream talk is, Dear Chun, we will be happy for the rest of our lives. I had a dream last night. I dreamed that we got married and gave birth to several babies. We were carefree and lived happily every day. Chun's face was filled with surprise. Really, that's great. But Mizuki-kun, why have I never heard of the language you talk in your sleep? Mizuki explained. It is an ancient saying. It is said that it is earlier than the era when Sage of Six Paths was born. It is no longer used in the ninja world. I learned it by chance when I was on a mission in the land of Whirlpool. Just now I thought you knew that language, and I was shocked. It's getting late, I'm leaving. Looking at Mizuki's retreating figure, the joy on Chun's face faded, and her eyes were filled with sadness. When you talk in your sleep, you don't use your mother tongue, but use other ancient languages that are rarely used in daily life. And when you were talking in your sleep last night, you were gnashing your teeth, your face was ferocious, full of murderous intent, and you didn't look happy at all. Mizuki-kun, what are you hiding from me? With a worried look on her face, she turned back to the house. Just as he was about to close the door, a hand held the door, and a genin stood at the door at some point. Chunin-chun, Lord Danzo invites you, Tsubaki said coldly. After the Uchiha clan was exterminated a few years ago, Elder Danzo was removed from his post by the third Hokage and has no right to order the ninjas in the village. You go, I won't go. Gen-ren, it's about the truth about your fiancé's mission. Chun. Wait a moment, I'll change clothes. At this time, Mizuki, who had already walked away, felt a layer of cold sweat break out on his back. Risk. It's too risky. Fortunately, it was in Chinese. If it had been in the island language, it might have been over by now. Advertisement in the dream, he shouted that he wanted to kill the third Hokage dozens of times. If Chun knew what she meant, even if it was her fiancé, she would definitely kill her. Mizuki realizes that his engagement with Tsubaki must be broken off, and as soon as possible. And from now on, you have to turn a blind eye when sleeping, and you must never talk in your sleep again. Hokage building, Hokage office. The third generation stared at the crystal ball until Mizuki walked out of Konoha's gate before putting the crystal ball away. At this time, the office door was pushed open and Danzo walked in. Third generation. After Mizuki died, his body was brought to me. I need to know some secrets about him. It has been more than half a month since I gave the chakra control pill to Nara Shikaku, but I haven't found anything useful yet. Third generation has always been worried about this. He always felt that Mizuki was hiding something from chakra control pill. This is why he designed several times to kill Mizuki. Because after Mizuki's death, he can arrange for the Yamanaka family to explore Mizuki's memory and find the answers they want. Regardless of whether Mizuki had the recipe for the chakra control pill, he was going to give it a try. Danzo. Okay, third generation. This time, it should be safe, right? Danzo. I didn't know he had a trump card last time, so I took it lightly. This time I'm fully prepared and guaranteed to be foolproof. Third generation. You took his fiancé away? Danzo. His strength is unknown. I did this just in case. Third generation narrowed his eyes, lowered his voice, and said, Danzo, you have crossed the line. Chun did not do anything wrong. Danzo glanced at third generation, sneered, and said, the news that they will get married in half a month came from the Hokage building. In my impression, when you and Bawako got married, not so many people mentioned it half a month ago. Third generation took a puff of his pipe and stopped talking. Danzo's meaning is obvious. It was you, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who pushed this matter. Stop pretending to be a good person here. I, Danzo, have seen through it all. After Mizuki left Konoha, he walked straight east along the road, neither too fast nor too slow. But his spirit remained tense. There may be traps on the road ahead, and there may be ambushes in the woods nearby. It is a matter of life and death, and we must not relax. It would take at least 5 or 6 days to walk from Konoha to the border. The first day passed quickly, and Mizuki didn't suffer any attacks. At night, he stayed in a town he was passing through, and the night was also uneventful. Then the second day, the third day, until the 6th day, when he arrived at the village where the mission to exterminate the bandits was issued, there were no accidents on the way. It seems that they are waiting for me on the mountain. Entering the village, Mizuki found the village chief, revealed his identity, and asked where the bandits were. Mizuki-kun, it's getting late today and you've come after a long journey. Let's talk about the mission tomorrow. The village has prepared fine wine and food. You can enjoy a meal, have a good sleep, and be refreshed, which will help you go up the mountain tomorrow. The village chief was very polite. After experiencing being drunk by Tsubaki with medicinal wine, Mizuki became more cautious and never drank alcohol. Advertisement. No need to go to such trouble. The village chief told me directly about the bandits. I will wipe them out tonight. Soon, Mizuki learned the general situation on the mountain from the village chief. This group of bandits, numbering around 20, are all ordinary people and there are no ninjas. Logically speaking, ordinary bandits don't need Konoha's ninjas to eliminate them. But in fact, the government sent officers and soldiers to the mountain several times, but nothing could be done against these bandits. The main thing is that the mountain is surrounded by cliffs on all sides, and bandits climb up and down with the help of ropes hanging from the cliffs. As soon as the officers and soldiers came, the bandits pulled the rope up, and the officers and soldiers naturally couldn't climb up. Understood, I'll go up the mountain and wait for my news. The sun has set and the sky is getting dark. After Mizuki left the village chief immediately lit a bonfire in the open space of the village. Arriving at the foot of the mountain, Mizuki looked up and saw that the mountain was surrounded by cliffs, making it difficult for ordinary people to climb. But this is all trivial to a ninja. He put his feet on the cliff and walked up step by step. Like walking on flat ground. We should take action. Mizuki was already ready. The next moment, he heard a hissing sound. This familiar voice, without even looking, is a detonating talisman, and it has been activated. Looking along the sound, I found the location of the detonating talisman, just 3 meters to the left. At this distance, the power of the explosion is not enough to injure him, but the shock wave generated by the explosion will cause him to become unstable and even fly up. This is a cliff, not flat ground. If it slips at any moment, it may fall, let alone fly. Mizuki turned his head quickly, looking for the target of the apparition. But before he could find it, he heard a boom, and the detonating talisman exploded. The powerful shock wave immediately knocked Mizuki's body away, and his feet immediately left the cliff. It was hundreds of meters above the ground. If he fell, his whole body would be completely shattered, his internal organs would burst, and his brain would explode. Damn it, of course, this is for ordinary people. Mizuki reacted quickly. 2 streams of chakra erupted from the spring hole under his feet, forming a strong wind. A recoil force pushed him back to the cliff, and he firmly grasped a protruding rock with both hands. After more than half a month of practice, although the air-stepping technique is still not as good as an arm, let alone flying in the air. But like just now, it's okay to have a short emergency. Standing on the cliff again, Mizuki became more cautious. He scanned the surrounding area with his eyes, checking whether there were any detonating symbols around him. At this moment, 2 hands stretched out from the cliff rocks and grabbed his ankles. Earth style. Heart beheading technique. With a soft cry, Mizuki was pulled into the rock, with only his head exposed. A masked root ninja emerged from the cliff. You have been restricted in your mobility. You can't do the connecting seal with both hands. According to Master Danzo's instructions, you can die. The opponent held a kunai and slashed towards Mizuki's throat. Mizuki smiled and said, it seems that Danzo still doesn't know how the root ninja died before. The apparition technique, it seems, hasn't been revealed yet. Chapter 19. Heart-turning puppet seal technique. Mizuki's eyes flashed as he looked at the kunai coming towards his throat. The next moment, he changed his appearance. The 2 men's positions were switched instantly. Mizuki stood on the cliff again, but the root ninja was buried in the rock. Masaka. This root ninja had no idea what was going on. It was clear that the kunai was about to stab Mizuki's neck, but suddenly he discovered that the person who beheaded technique in the center was actually himself. Illusion. He immediately mobilized chakra, trying to disrupt the chakra controlled by the illusion, so as to escape from the illusion. Then he discovered that although the chakra had been mobilized, the illusion had not been lifted. This is not an illusion. Just now, he was struck by the heart beheading technique. However, when I was about to kill him, his and my positions were swapped. Genin was shocked. It's a space ninjutsu, and it doesn't require any seals. Is it Bloodline's limit? At this moment, he finally understood how the root companion who was sent out to assassinate Mizuki by Lord Danzo half a month ago died. Suicide and all that are just illusions. Haha, that old guy Danzo didn't even understand my abilities, so he sent people to kill me again. It's just a gift. Mizuki sneered and took out a detonating charm. The root ninja was hit by the heart beheading technique he had performed, and was buried in the rocks, unable to move and unable to even do the bond seal. This person is good at earth style, and he just used earth style. Rock shinobi technique, hiding inside a rock to ambush Mizuki. But now, he can't form the seal, can't use the rock shinobi technique, and can no longer move among the rocks. Mizuki put the detonating talisman on the opponent's forehead, then quickly moved a few meters sideways. Boom! The detonating talisman exploded, screams resounded, and the cliff shook violently. Soon, the movement dissipated. Mizuki looked at the explosion point and said softly, "Eh." The body was blown to ashes. No, a detonating talisman is not that powerful. It seems that the one just now was a shadow clone. Mizuki was on alert. The people who came this time seemed not so easy to deal with. At this moment, there was a soft shout from above, "Earth style. Split the earth and turn your palms." The next moment, the cliff cracked and pieces of rock collapsed towards Mizuki. This place is already a cliff, and a large amount of rubble collapses from above. Mizuki has no place to hide. Seeing that countless rocks were about to hit his head, Mizuki remained calm and glanced upward. But as the night grew darker, the vision was blocked and the enemy could not be seen at all. Since he couldn't see anyone, his plan to use apparition to protect himself and kill people at the same time couldn't be carried out. He could only turn his gaze to the falling stones. His super dynamic vision allowed him to find a suitable falling rock in an instant. Transformation was used again, and Mizuki exchanged positions with the selected falling rock. His position instantly moved up dozens of meters, crossing the swarms of falling rocks and reaching a safe position. He looked up, but still couldn't see the enemy. Advertisement. The disembodiment is exposed, and the opponent doesn't dare to show his face at all. He only dares to hide and attack in secret. It's too dangerous on the cliff, and the enemy is condescending, which is disadvantageous for you. Mizuki stopped grinding, turned his hand, and a shuriken appeared on his fingertips, and then threw it upwards. He wanted to use this shuriken as a springboard to quickly reach the top of the cliff using teleportation to get rid of the current passive situation. The enemy seems to have seen through Mizuki's intentions. A shuriken emerged from the night and shot downwards, hitting Mizuki's shuriken and sending it flying away. Snort. Mizuki snorted, took out another shuriken and threw it out. The shuriken flew 20 or 30 meters, and another shuriken was shot from above, knocking Mizuki's shuriken away. But this time the shuriken is not an ordinary shuriken, but a mind-controlled shuriken returned by the system. As soon as Mizuki thought, the shuriken that was knocked away immediately changed its direction and continued to fly upward. Is he still the puppet master? A cry of surprise sounded from above the cliff. As we all know, if you want to control the shuriken to turn a will, apart from the collision and turning method in the Uchiha-style throwing technique, it can only be done under the control of the puppet master's chakra line. As for Sasuke's shuriken maneuvering windmill, it just uses a steel wire to simply manipulate the shuriken, and it cannot be turned and controlled at will. At this point, Mizuki has been mistaken for a puppet master. The shuriken controlled by thoughts has reached the limit of vision. With a thought, Mizuki transformed in an instant, switching places with the shuriken. Looking up, there was less than 50 meters left from the top of the cliff. On the top of the cliff, a person quickly retreated, not giving Mizuki a chance to change his form. There was a hissing sound under his feet. Mizuki lowered his head and saw that there were detonating symbols within a 10-meter radius. At a glance, there were no less than 50 pictures. At the same time, two hands stretched out from the rocks beneath their feet again and grabbed Mizuki's ankles. Mizuki was always on guard against the same move. He leapt up and away from the cliff, instantly away from the center of the explosion, and at the same time threw a shuriken upwards. Boom boom boom. Landslides and ground cracks, and the explosions one after another are deafening. The gravel cracked and flew away. Mizuki was hit by several pieces of gravel and gritted his teeth in pain. At this time, the shuriken had already flown upward for more than 10 meters. He hurriedly used his transformation again and successfully escaped from the scope of the explosion. With his feet on the rock wall again, he stepped forward and ran upwards. He's had enough. Fighting on the cliff, you have no power to fight back, so you have to rush up and fight back. Seeing that Mizuki escaped once again, the people above did not stop him. Finally, Mizuki rushed to the top of the cliff and stepped on the flat ground. The moment he came up, he glanced around and saw no one, but saw a wooden golem standing directly in front of him. No, not a regular wooden golem, but a wooden golem. The puppet was made roughly, with a pair of small eyes and a talisman between its eyebrows with the word, curse, written on it. Mizuki took one look and immediately realized something was wrong, so he looked away. But it's too late. The word, curse, on the puppet's eyebrows disappeared. Mizuki felt his mind tightening, and his eyesight went dark. When he opened his eyes again, he saw his body. Advertisement. This is Yamanaka Feng's heart-turning puppet seal technique. I'm careless. Yamanaka Feng, a ninja from the Yamanaka clan, joins the roots and is Danzo's right-hand man. Before the Fourth Ninja War, at the meeting between the Five Shadows in the Iron Kingdom, Danzo attended as a fifth generation and half Hokage, bringing only two of his subordinates. One is the Yamanaka Wind and the other is the Aburame Root. The two of them can be regarded as Danzo's right-hand men, and their strength is not an exaggeration. Especially their secret techniques, if used properly, are extremely lethal. Mizuki didn't expect that Danzo would send such masters to kill him. The heart-turning puppet seal technique is a secret technique unique to Yamanaka Feng. It uses a puppet to perform the heart-turning technique, transferring and sealing the enemy's consciousness into the puppet. At this time, Mizuki's consciousness was sealed into the wooden golem. He could not move or speak, and even Chakra could not sense it. And Mizuki's body is also occupied by the Yamanaka Wind. The current situation can only be described in one word: at the mercy of others. Your technique is very practical. Your strength has surpassed Chunin and reached Jonin level. Mizuki, on the opposite side, said. Unfortunately, you are disloyal to Konoha, so I must kill you. Mizuki used his consciousness to communicate with the wind of Yamanaka and said, You occupy my body. If you kill me, you will die too. Yamanaka Feng said calmly, I will control your body to jump off the cliff, and your consciousness will return to the original body before landing, so that I will not die. Mizuki. It's useless. The moment my consciousness returns, I will immediately find objects to swap places to eliminate the danger to my life. Yamanaka Feng. Judging from the previous battle process, there should be a prerequisite for you to exchange places with other people or things, that is, it must be something you can see before you can exchange. So, I'm going to blindfold you. Mizuki was secretly shocked. He analyzed the weakness of the apparition technique so quickly and found a way to deal with it. He is worthy of being a ninja that even Danzo relies on. My consciousness is sealed in this puppet, so, what will happen if this puppet is damaged? Yamanaka Feng. This specially made puppet is specially made for the hard turn puppet technique. Ordinary damage is not important, but the head cannot be injured, otherwise the hard turn will be ineffective and your consciousness will return. It's a pity that you are alone and have no companions to help you. Yamanaka Feng took out a black cloth and covered his eyes. He even felt that it was not safe, so he took out a rope and tied his hands and feet. Mizuki was horrified to see it, how cruel it was. Hey, if you're blindfolded, how can you tell when you're about to land? If you make a wrong judgment, won't you harm yourself? Yamanaka Feng said calmly. I have a companion who will remind me before landing. Mizuki. It's really well planned. Unfortunately, it's not that easy to kill me. The next moment, a shuriken rushed up from the cliff, passed over Mizuki's head, and nailed the puppet between the eyebrows at an extremely fast speed. Thank you for telling me the weakness of technique. Yamanaka Feng was blindfolded, but he could already feel that the puppet was damaged and Mizuki's consciousness was returning. As a foreigner, he immediately felt intense rejection. This is impossible. After saying this, his consciousness has been expelled from Mizuki's body. Mizuki's consciousness returned. He took off his blindfold and said coldly, nothing is impossible. The shuriken between the puppet's eyebrows shook twice, flew up, and flew back to Mizuki, circling around him. He turned around and looked at the small patch of dense forest behind him. Yamanaka Feng is hiding in the forest, and there is more than one person. Today, none of you can leave. Chapter 20. Many crises. Behind a big tree, two people communicated in a low voice. A shuriken that is controlled by his will and flies around like a bee. This is not a puppet technique, it even goes beyond the scope of ninjutsu. He has such power, but he pretends to be an ordinary chunin. He clearly wants to do evil to the village. No wonder Lord Danzo wants to kill him. Yamanaka Feng spoke solemnly. The people next to him nodded, equally worried. His abilities are so weird. Even John and Lycus must be extremely careful when facing him alone. Especially the kind of position-changing technique, which is very dangerous. It can even move us near the detonating talisman and kill us before we can avoid it. Yamanaka said. No matter what, such dangerous elements must be killed. Plan A and Plan B have failed. Now that we know his capabilities, we can directly implement Plan C. Although the noise will be loud, it can't be controlled that much. Jin, be prepared and cooperate with Wasabi to kill Mizuki. The root ninja named Jin nodded, raised his hands, and prepared to form the seal. Outside the forest, Mizuki was on alert. Suddenly, a man emerged from the ground more than 10 meters in front of him. It was the Earth-style root ninja. It actually appeared directly in front of me. Is it Shadow Clone again? The shuriken is like an arrow from the string, shooting towards the opponent. The root ninja dodged and quickly formed seals with his hands. Earth-style. Clay from heaven. In the sky above Mizuki's position, a black alien space appeared, and a large amount of clay tilted down. Huh, that's it? Mizuki scoffed and was about to use the apparition technique. But at this moment, a bright light suddenly shot out from the forest, shining directly on Mizuki's eyes. The bright light at night was extremely dazzling, and the glare effect caused Mizuki to become blind instantly. Holy crap, bright flashlight, Mizuki was shocked. Is this a special girl okay? Since you can't see with both eyes, you can't use apparition. The next moment, he was buried under tons of clay. Immediately afterwards, the root ninja named Jin walked out from behind the tree and quickly formed seals with his hands. Fire style. Baked technique. Around the clay pile, huge fires broke out. The fire was so strong that it could be seen dozens of miles away. The villagers in the village at the foot of the mountain were cheering, thinking that the ninja was using ninjutsu to destroy the bandits on the mountain. The fire burned for 5 minutes, and the terrifying high temperature completely dried the clay. Yamanaka Feng walked out of the forest and said, with this high temperature and lack of oxygen, there is no doubt that he is dead. Jin and Wasabi each nodded. Yamanaka Feng said again, take out his body and take it back to Lord Danzo. Wasabi walked to the clay pile and pressed her hand on the dry soil. The soil peeled off, and the expected corpse did not appear. There were only 4 triangular smooth stone walls piled up to form a pyramid-shaped stone house. Yamanaka Feng shouted, back away, he is not dead. The next moment, the stone wall collapsed outward. Wasabi quickly retreated, but at this moment, the sound of wind caused by a sharp weapon breaking through the air sounded behind her. Wasabi ducked sideways, and out of the corner of his eye he caught a glimpse of a shuriken, which passed by his side, then changed direction in the air and accelerated back like a boomerang, crossing his throat. Blood spurted out and Wasabi fell to the ground. Advertisement. The first one. Mizuki walked out of the stone wall, sweat pouring from his body. The fire had been burning outside for 5 minutes just now, and he was almost roasted to death inside. Thanks to his wit, he used earth style at the moment the clay fell. The stone mirror wall, the thick stone wall, blocked most of the heat and saved him from death. I was careless. I thought it was a shadow clone, so I didn't kill him directly. It seems that Chakra cannot be saved. Wasabi died, leaving Yamanaka Feng and Jin. The moment Yamanaka Feng saw the stone wall, he had already retreated into the forest. At this time, he stood behind the tree and shouted, "Jin, retreat quickly, you can't compete with him head-on." Jin saw the detonating talisman in Mizuki's hand, realized something was wrong, and quickly backed away. Late. Mizuki activated the detonator, and the hissing sound was clear in the night. The next moment, he gently took off the detonating talisman, then transformed and activated it, switching positions with Jin. Boom! With a violent explosion, Jin was blown away, his right leg was completely broken, his stomach was also exploded, and his intestines spilled out. He fell to the ground and rolled around a few times, his body twitched a few times, and then stopped moving. At this time, Yamanaka Wind was running wildly in the forest, passing through the woods, and soon came to a cave. This cave is the bandits' lair. However, the bandits in the cave had long been eliminated and the bodies had been disposed of. Yamanaka Feng quickly entered the cave, and before he had gone far, he saw a woman who had fainted on the ground. It is Mizuki's fiancée, Tsubaki. Plans A, B, and C all failed, so he can only use Plan D. He helped Tsubaki sit up against the wall, then he sat in front of Tsubaki and raised his hands. Ninjutsu. Heart turn technique. Performing the mind turn technique on an unconscious person has no chance of failure. The next moment, Yamanaka Feng's consciousness successfully entered Chun's mind. He controlled Chun's body, stood up and walked out of the cave, facing Mizuki. Soon, the two met in the forest. "Tsubaki, how will you be here?" Mizuki was stunned, but then he realized that it was probably the transformation technique. "Mizuki-kun, I finally see you. Come on, there are 3 root ninjas here, and they are here to kill you." With that said, he rushed over to hold Mizuki's hand. Mizuki sneered. "You are so small, but you want to lie to me." With a horizontal kick, the unprepared Chun was kicked out. He fell to the ground with a groan and spit out a mouthful of blood. Mizuki's eyes widened and he asked in surprise, You are really Tsubaki?" Transformation technique. When you become someone else and are injured or have chakra disorder, you will return to your original form. The Tsubaki in front of him hit him in the foot and even vomited blood, but he didn't change. This shows that this Tsubaki is real. But here comes the question, why is Chun here? "Mizuki-kun, I heard the news that 3rd generation Sama and Danzo-sama wanted to kill you, and they also sent 3 Jonin. So I defected from the village and wanted to come to inform you, but unexpectedly I was met by the roots on the way and captured. Here. They tied me up in a cave and wanted to use me as a hostage to force you to commit suicide. The 3 genin were not around just now, so I took the opportunity to break the rope and ran out. Hurry up, those 3 are all Jonin, you are no match for them. Let's leave quickly and escape from the land of fire." Advertisement. There was no loophole in Tsubaki's words. After hearing this, Mizuki had already given up his doubts. In fact, he was very moved. As his fiancé, he would rather defect than save himself. If you get a wife like this, what more can a husband ask for? "Don't worry, those 3 root ninjas are no match for me. I have already killed 2 of them. There is 1 left, wait until I finish him off." He walked over, stretched out his hand to pull Chun up, and helped him sit under the tree. "I'm very sorry, I thought it was Yamanaka Feng who transformed into you using the transformation technique, so." Chun said hurriedly. "I understand, Mizuki-kun, you don't have to blame yourself." Mizuki is very pleased with Chun's understanding. Then he sighed and said, "You shouldn't do this, but it's my fault for not telling you my strength and making you worry. By the way, how did you know that 3rd generation and Danzo were going to kill me?" Mizuki asked casually. "Logically speaking, how could 3rd generation let the news leak out about such a confidential matter?" Tsubaki said, "It's Iruka. He overheard the news in the Hokage building and came to tell me." Mizuki's heart skipped a beat. Something's wrong. With Iruka's trash power, can he hear the conversation between 3rd generation and Danzo in the Hokage building spread across Anbu? Besides, Iruka is a staunch Hokage and obeys the advice of the 3rd generation. Even if he knew that the 3rd generation wanted to kill him, he would never directly tell Tsubaki the news. At most, he would mention it in a vague way for the sake of friendship. Mizuki realized that Tsubaki had a problem with her explanation. Did she also come under orders to kill me? Mizuki immediately guessed. At the same time, Tsubaki, who was sitting under the tree, noticed that Mizuki was acting strangely and immediately realized that he had been exposed. "Mizuki-kun, it feels uncomfortable to sit like this. Please help me lie down in the open space over there." Although Mizuki was suspicious, he made no immediate move. He came to Tsubaki, lifted her up, and walked towards the clearing. At this moment, Chun's feet twisted and he exclaimed, and quickly hugged Mizuki's waist with both hands. "What are you doing?" Mizuki yelled. He already had doubts about Chun, and now any action by Chun made him nervous. "No, it's nothing. I twisted my foot," Tsubaki explained, while her hands were tightly tangled together, tightly binding Mizuki's waist. A hissing sound came from Z-Chun's back. How could Mizuki not recognize this familiar voice? It was clearly the detonating talisman. "Damn it, she's going to die with me." Mizuki grabbed Tsubaki's arm and tried to break it open, but Tsubaki held on tightly and couldn't break it off for a while. The detonator is about to explode. Now using apparition has no effect. In other words, he will apparate with Chun. Even if he used it, he couldn't get rid of Tsubaki. "Mizuki, die together with your fiancé." This tone is not Tsubaki at all. Hateful? Yamanaka Feng, you are so vicious. She has not failed the village, but you used her as bait. You have to die. At the critical moment, a kunai appeared in Mizuki's hand, a cold light flashed, and Chun's right hand was cut off. Mizuki broke free and pushed Tsubaki's body away. Apparition.